Wins since the final game of the 2012 season. The Crimson Storm hope to break a 29-game losing streak when they host Northwestern Oklahoma State today in a GAC conference contest in the fourth home game of the season. It's SNU versus Northwestern Oklahoma State right here on SNUathletics.com.
Hits this one hard out to left center. Carrying out deep, could it be? It is gone.
And Jacobs with the punishing kill.
A two-run shot that ties the game.
Hyatt hits it over, and she's going to have a kill. Over to Boyd, inside to Gaddis. Spin move, puts it up, takes the foul, and knocks it down. Quan Connor takes the three, puts it up, knocks it down.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SNUathletics.com alongside my partners John Hale and Connor McKenzie. I'm Tanner Stiles to bring you this afternoon's matchup between SNU and Northwestern Oklahoma State. Guys, it's been about 3 weeks since our last football broadcast. John, you want to give us a little bit of insight on the last 2 weeks from SNU on the road?
Well, they first went to Monticello, Arkansas to take on Arkansas Monticello, and that looked like a game that they could possibly pick up that first win of the year. However, Monticello didn't see it that way, and they picked up their first win. And then a week later, they went on to face SWAZU, Southwestern Oklahoma State, in Weatherford, and the Bulldogs, quite frankly, ripped the Southern Nazarene apart. And so now they're here, they're back home, they're just once again looking for that all-elusive first win.
Connor, I'm going to bring you in here. Talk a little bit about the series between these two teams, between SNU and Northwestern Oklahoma State.
Absolutely, Taryn. It's been a pretty tightly contested series whenever played here in Bethany. The Rangers, however, hold a 10-1 record against the Crimson Storm in all time against Southern Nazarene. The lone win of the series for the Storm came all the way back in 2006 when SU picked up a forfeit. So hopefully things will be turning around this way for the Storm's favorite. Storm not defeated the Rangers on the field in 11 games played, and Southern Nazarene won the Central States Football League in 2006 and 2011. And Northwestern was able to catch a Storm in each of those 2 seasons. So it's going to be hopefully a tight ball game here in Bethany.
Northwestern Oklahoma State is coming off a tough 41-38 loss to Oklahoma Baptist at home last week. The Rangers led 24-7 at the half, but the Bison scored 20 straight to take a 27-24 lead. To start the fourth, Northwestern regained the lead 31-27 with about 12 minutes to go in the game. But OBU pushed it to 41-31 with 8 minutes remaining, and it was pretty much all OBU from there. So like you said, it should be a pretty good matchup. On this date, the only time SNU has played on October 24th was in 2009, and they lost 20-19 against Langston University. Crimson Storm led 13-7 at half and were up 19-14 heading into the fourth quarter, but they ended up dropping that one by 1 point. So, guys, is there anything maybe you're looking for? I know we had some injuries that we saw players come out in warm-ups. Was there any specific players you saw out there that may not be active in today's game?
Yeah, today I was a little bit concerned when I saw star running back for the Storm. Terrence Olds out. He had a boot on his left foot, so I'm not sure what the entire injury may be. Maybe an ankle problem or a sprain on his foot, but it seems to be pretty serious, and he's definitely out for today's game. So that'll be a big blow to the Storm's offense and rushing attack.
I think they're going to be okay, though. I think Quincy Whitfield knows that he's got to pick it up a little bit, and I think Quincy Whitfield is going to really shine through in this game for the Crimson Storm.
He'll definitely have some minutes to really get some things started, get things going for the Crimson Storm early in this one. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from Michael Westbrook for the GAC Rewind from last week and a preview of this week's action. Don't go anywhere. You're watching SNU football right here on SNUathletics.com.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Great American Conference Football Show. With a look back at last week and a preview of this week, here's your host, Michael Westbrook.
In Week 7, Southern Arkansas defeated Ouachita Baptist 32-28 in the Murphy USA Classic played in El Dorado. The Mule Riders scored the only points of the fourth quarter on this play with 37 seconds remaining in the game.
Ball on the 16-yard line. Renner out of the pistol. He fires. He has a receiver. Tanner Hudson at the 10. He's at the 5. He'll go in at the left pylon. Touchdown, Southern Arkansas. 16-yard pass play. Renner to Hudson, and the Mule Riders take the lead.
Dan Gregory on the Mule Riders Sports Network. Quarterback Barrett Renner passed for 5 touchdowns on his way to being named Offensive Player of the Week. Harding and Southeastern had a game for the ages as the Bisons edged the Storm 63-60 in 4 overtimes. After the Storm made a field goal in the 4th frame, Harding ended it in Durant once and for all.
I mean, the football is just outside the goal line. If it were any closer, it would be touching the goal line. Parrish to the line of scrimmage. Parrish takes. Parrish now diving. Parrish touchdown, and the Bisons are going to win it. Touchdown Harding. Quarterback Snake Park Parrish, and the Bisons won it in the 4th overtime, 63-60. And it's over. And the Bisons are going to get out of Durant with a huge victory in overtime.
Billy Morgan on the Harding Sports Network. East Central edged past Arkansas Tech 20-19 with 2:56 to play in the game. Arkansas Tech started a 15-play drive from their own 1-yard line. Even after 15 plays, though, the Tigers won the battle.
Favor, fake handoff. He'll scramble right. Gonna throw it. Gonna shovel it
Now
down.
Tigers pick it off. Tigers get the interception. Tigers get the interception. Oh my! The Tigers take it away. Oh goodness gracious! You can't throw it up for grabs to a defense like that.
Mike Mattis on the call. Southwestern won against Southern Nazarene 73-7. Running back Kedron Banks rushed for 144 yards and 3 touchdowns. Here's the first of the 3, called by John Little.
Robertson will hand off right to Kedron Banks across the 45-50, galloping inside the 40. Banks turns the corner to the 20, to the 10. Banks to the goal line, dives in. Touchdown Bulldogs. It's a 60-yard run for Kedron Banks, and the sophomore with his first touchdown run of his career.
SWASU's DJ Jones earned the GAC Special Teams Player of the Week award. Henderson State rolled to a 41-3 victory over Monticello. After what looked like the potential for a scoreless first quarter, Jaquan Cole changed all of that to start the Reddies scoring.
Hardison keeps Jaquan Cole in the backfield. 2 receivers set. Tight end in motion. Big set on the left side for the Reddies. They're going to run that way with Cole. Cole up the middle. Lots of room. Past the 30. He's gone to the 50. To the 40 on the left sideline. Jaquan Cole inside the 20. Jaquan Cole takes it 80 yards. And the Reddies draw first blood. Another long run for Mr. Long Run. Jaquan Cole scores his 5th touchdown of the season.
Phil Elson on the call. Oklahoma Baptist recorded its 2nd win, this time 41-38 over Northwestern. The Bison scored with 8:35 to play in the 4th. Then 17 seconds later, Defensive Player of the Week Brendan Pitzer intercepted a Northwestern pass and ran it back 26 yards for a touchdown. I'm Michael Westbrook. This has been the GAC Rewind. Join us again next week on this station and online at GreatAmericanConference.com.
GreatAmericanConference.com is your home for scores, stats, and standings. For additional information, follow on Twitter @GAC Athletics. This has been an exclusive presentation of the Great American Conference. Welcome to
So there you have it. You just heard from the GAC and Michael Westbrook. Guys, Connor, you want to give us a little bit of insight here on the GAC standings up till this current time?
Absolutely, definitely. Henderson State's in the top of the conference at 6-1 so far. Arkansas Tech and East Central, Harding, and Southern Arkansas all at 5-2 for the conference. So it's going to be a tight race down the stretch for those teams, certainly. Creeping up behind them at 4-3 are Southwestern, Oklahoma State, and Ouachita. I think Southwestern is one being Southeastern Oklahoma State down at 3-4. Northwestern Oklahoma State playing today against the Storm, 2-5. Oklahoma Baptist also at 2-5. Arkansas Monticello sitting at 1-6 in the conference, and Southern Nazarene bringing up the rear at 0-7. So it's a
Oklahoma Baptist, who ended up taking it 42-14 In the other game, Arkansas Monticello taking on Ouachita Baptist. That game just went final. Ouachita took it 20-17. But guys, really the score that's really sticking out to me is Harding taking on East Central. You talked about it. East Central third. They're both 5-2 in the conference, tied for third. But Harding right now currently up by 2 scores, guys.
Yeah, Harding is just taking it to East Central. I mean, to them, I mean, to me, I think the Harding seeing that they're 5-2, tied for second, that's an insult to them. They want to go out and win this conference.
Arkansas Tech is at home against Southeastern Oklahoma State. That game is 43-20 right now. And then in the other game, it's I believe it's Henderson State. They're taking on Southern Arkansas, where they're trailing Southern Arkansas 21-13. So that's just a little bit of insight for you about the GAC. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the SNU sports recap, other sports going on, volleyball, women's soccer, men's soccer, and men's and women's golf. We'll be right back. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. We're just about 10 minutes away from kickoff here in Bethany. I'm going to send it over to my partner now, John Hale, for the sports recap for the week. John?
Well, let's go over volleyball first. They won last Saturday at Southern Arkansas in Magnolia, and they ended up winning that one, and they traveled to Alva on Thursday to take on Northwestern Oklahoma State. But let's talk about just a few about today and yesterday. Yesterday, they went up against the leader in the conference, Arkansas Tech, and in a hard-fought, emotional battle. They ended up just coming up a little bit short. They lost 3-2, and it was just a gut-wrencher. But today they came back and they swept Harding today. In women's soccer, they won Tuesday versus Oklahoma Baptist to move to 6-9, 3-6 in the GAC. They play Saturday, 2 p.m. against ECU, so that's coming up right now. And currently, they are winning 1-0 in the 84th minute. So if they can just hold on for about 6 more minutes, you can chalk their record up to 7-9. In the men's soccer's category, we're going up against OC, Oklahoma Christian, so Oklahoma Central, and they play Saturday at Oklahoma Baptist in Shawnee at 7 p.m. And then they travel to Tahlequah next Thursday for a matchup versus Northwestern State. In men's golf, they finished third out of 16 teams at Midwestern State Invitational. It was the final tournament of the fall. Kickoff for the spring season is February 15th and 16th at San Antonio. And it's the San Antonio Shootout. In the women's golf, they finished fourth out of 10 teams at the GAC preview at Lake Hefner. It was final tournament of the fall, and the kickoff was a week after the men's kickoff in the spring, the 22nd or 23rd of February at Edwards Invitational in Austin.
So obviously some good results there from SNU in terms of both volleyball and soccer as well as golf. So talked about golf is now for the fall, and men's soccer is well on its way to volleyball. So good luck to the rest of the SNU sports for the conclusion of their season. Guys, about time to break this ball game down the Crimson Storm. Like you said, we're coming off this 77 loss at Southwestern Oklahoma State last week. They only had 152 yards of total offense, just 26 on the ground and 126 through the air. The Bulldogs had 669 total yards and 315 rushing yards, 334 passing yards. So we kind of talked about a little bit now in the air about Northwestern Oklahoma State and how their rushing attack isn't as up to par as we've seen from some of the other opponents that SNU's faced. So guys, we should probably see them airing the ball out a little bit.
Oh yes, they will be. They're more pass oriented anyway, and they really do like to air the ball around. Not to say that they're predominantly pass, but if they had to choose between the two, they're going to go pass.
Absolutely, John. I totally agree with you. They just air out the ball, but SNU's defense has been giving up some rushing yards, so they may look to try to pound the running game a little bit here against Storm defense. I think some players on the SNU defense have a little thing to say about that.
James Morrow, the quarterback, 6'7", junior. He is now 5th all-time in school history in passing yards. He currently has 2,183 yards and needs 343 more to catch Dan DiNardo, who played in 2003 and 2004, for 4th all-time. He is also 8th all-time in touchdown passes with 10. He needs one more to tie Robbie Brosius in 2000 to 2002 and Andrew Lynn from 01 and 02 for 6. Southern Nazarene leads the GAC in red zone offense as it is 9 for 10 in red zone attempts. Storm have 6 touchdowns and 3 made field goals. The lone miss was an interception. Carlos Anguiano, the kicker, is tied for 8th in the GAC in field goals made per game. The freshman is 3 for 4 on the year and had a 40-yarder earlier in the year. So, Connor, I think we were talking also a little bit about SNU's defense, some players to watch on that defensive front. Give us a little bit of insight maybe on who to look out for in this matchup on the defense.
I think it's pretty consistent with the rest of the season. We've been saying his name pretty much all year. Connor Bench, head of that linebacking crew with his brothers in there with Larry Butler and Blake Giles. They're just absolute monsters when it comes to stop the run and rushing the passer. And so far this year, a big surprise Isaiah Young with 61 total tackles. He's just coming out of nowhere and showing that he can play some ball.
Yeah, you talked about Connor Bent. He's got 54 tackles. Isaiah Young with 61. Also, Larry Butler III. He's also been a big factor in there. He's actually missed a couple of games with, I believe, an ankle injury, but he also is third on the team in tackles with 52. So that linebacking core, I think, really is SNU's strong point on the defense. So I think it'll be interesting, guys, to kind of see early if maybe they can get some pressure on this air raid offensive attack.
Mm-hmm. The key for Southern Nazarene today is basically to get to the 20-yard line. I believe that if they can get inside the red zone, they can really dominate this game. However, that is the challenge of getting to the 20-yard line, and their offense has not really shown a whole lot of promise, but maybe today is the day that they can really move the ball.
So we talked about a little bit earlier. I think it was you, John, who talked about the GAC standings with Northwestern Oklahoma State coming into this one 2-5 on the season. So this is a game. SNU can come out. I believe if they've got some energy, they can come out and really make this thing a game. So it'll be interesting to see, Connor.
Absolutely, John. I think this is the game that they got to come out firing. I see them coming out on the field right now. They were absolutely fired up earlier this afternoon. They want to beat the Rangers of Northwestern Oklahoma State.
Definitely. Walking out this morning, going to get some breakfast at Webster Commons, I passed about 5 different players, and they were excited for this game. Let's see if their passion can really translate into points and hopefully their first win.
Ladies and gentlemen, fall has arrived as temperature currently outside. It's 60 degrees. Temperature a little bit cooler than we've seen in the past couple of broadcasts. Wind coming out of the north this afternoon at about 13 miles an hour. Temperature is pretty much expected to stay the same, as no rain in the forecast. So as you can see out there, we just got an update on women's soccer. They went final. They took it 1-0 against East Central, so congratulations to the women's soccer team. As you can see out there, the captains today for your SNU Crimson Storm is number 2, Larry Butler III, as you can see out there.
Number 8, Connor Bent is right next to him. He's actually our speaking captain for today.
Number 61, it's John Clark, who's the left tackle. He's actually replacing Will House, who's been out with a ankle injury also pretty much for the past couple of games. It's Blake Giles, like you said, and then it's Connor Bent out there for the Crimson Storm. So it's a pretty good afternoon here for some football.
And it looks to me that Northwestern is going to receive the ball. So Southern Nazarene has won the toss, and they defer to the second half.
So we'll see this SNU defense coming out first. So it'll be interesting to see if they can make something happen early. We saw a couple weeks ago that when they played here on October the 3rd in that loss, against Southeastern, the defense made some plays. I mean, they did their job in terms of forcing turnovers, and they forced a couple turnovers and recovered a fumble, I believe, and really the offense just really couldn't get anything going. So, I mean, offense has got to put some points on the board if this team has a good shot to win.
The defense for Southern Nazarene has definitely been its strongest point. However, you cannot win a game solely on defense. The defense has gotten tired in every single one of the games because they just can't get off the field. So it's going to be on the offense today to really step it up and get some points and get off and stay on the field a little bit longer.
It's going to be Jerry and Ted Tudman and Horatio Smith back deep to return for the Rangers, as Carlos Anguiano is set to kick things off here. So a Saturday afternoon, and we are underway here in Bethany Fielded from the 5. Here come the Rangers, and he slips and falls at the 15. That was Smith trying to bring it out. So here comes the Northwestern Oklahoma State offense, led by their quarterback, number 8, Reed Miller, a junior from Pampa, Texas.
One of those harvesters from where I come from. Playing for the Pampa Harvesters. Looks like he's made his way out to Oklahoma where he's been able to make an impact.
So here come the Rangers. First offensive series, setting up shop from their own 16-yard line. From the shotgun, back to pass. He's looking down the field, and he's just going to take off running and sliding down at about the 21, so a 5-yard gain there for Reed Miller.
Looks like Lindo Vincent was almost able to get his foot and trip him up, but just right out of his reach. And it looks like Northwestern is actually going to try and go hurry up.
So 2nd and 5 here from the 21. First handoff of the game goes inside, up across the 25 to about the 27. That'll be enough for a first down. I believe that was number 31, Zachary Doyle, the senior from Savannah, Oklahoma, getting the first down here. So 1st and 10 from the 27. The toss out to the left. He's got some room out here. That's Tudman, who was on the kickoff. He's out across the 35 to the 40. So Jerry and Tudman, the junior from Amarillo, picking up another first down for the Rangers.
There's a lot of Texas teams on this one, actually.
So a couple of first downs right back to back for the Rangers. So Tudman will go in motion, leaving Miller in the shotgun by himself. He's back deep, taking a shot down the field, and he's going to overthrow his receiver, number 27, Riley Hess. Good coverage there from SNU.
Great play there by Derek Camouche, not getting beat and letting even the offense in front of him not getting beat deep.
Very great coverage right there for Derek Camouche.
That really seems to be, guys, the main aspect of this SNU defense that tends to get exploited is the secondary. They had some guys from last year transfer, and I believe one graduated, so they're still trying to get that secondary in sync. And so on 2nd and 10, it's an incomplete pass across the middle, and it's going to bring up the first third down of the ballgame.
SNU is very lucky that one was overthrown. But Justin Schonbacher from Cherokee, Oklahoma, was all alone, and if he could get that, he picks up easily 15, if not more.
So 3rd and 10 from their own 39 here, Northwestern Oklahoma State. See if SNU's defense can pick up a stop here. Miller back to pass, looking to his left. He's got a man out here. He's got him at the 50, and he's got a lot of room to run out across the right side. He may take it the distance, and he does. That's number 18, Horatio Smith, the freshman.
Just a little bit too fast for Camouche to get to him. He was there, just 1 or 2 steps, and that's all it took to get into the end zone for the Rangers.
A 61-yard toss from Reed Miller to Horatio Smith for the first touchdown of the ball game, as Will Hawkins is on to attempt the PAT for the Rangers. So it is up, and it is good. So with 13:09, the Rangers strike first on a 61-yard pass. It's 7-0. We'll be right back here at SNUathletics.com. We don't have audio. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. On the kickoff here, it's Lakeem Christmas up the sideline. He's got some room out across the 45, right at about the 50. Number 18, Lakeem Christmas, with a great kickoff return to set SNU up with some good field position.
That's exactly what SNU is going to need. Now let's see if that defense can come back out in their next series, and this offense, this SNU offense, can come out and hopefully get the ball moving and put the ball in the end zone.
So here comes SNU, and it's Jacob Spady getting the start here for SNU at quarterback. 1st and 10, he's going to hand off to up the middle. He's got some room. It's number 30.
Daniel Ramos.
Daniel Ramos score. Touchdown, Crimson Storm.
What a great response there by the SNU Crimson Storm, coming right back at Northwestern Oklahoma State.
First play from scrimmage is going to go for a touchdown for SNU, a 50-yard run by Ramos.
I mean, there was all kinds of room on the left side of that offensive line that caused Ramos to scurry 50 yards for the score. And so just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we, for the time being, now have a tie ball game. It's up and good. So a drive that lasts 18 seconds. And a response from Daniel Ramos. It's 7-7. We'll be right back at SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com, and what a response it was from the touchdown first scored by the Rangers. The Crimson Storm respond with first a good kickoff return from Lakeem Christmas to get the ball to the 50 to set up good field position, and it was one play, 50 yards on a run from Daniel Ramos, the 5'8" freshman from Arlington, scooting into the end zone to even things up at 7. So it's going to be Tudman and Smith back to return once again, and it's going to be Smith fielding this time from his own goal line. He's up the right side looking for a hole, and good tackle out there in space by number 9, Derek Carmouche, right across the 20. So here comes the Northwestern Oklahoma State offense out on the field once again.
Let's see if this SNU defense can set up a wall and pull out a 4 and out here.
So here we go, 1st and 10 from the 23. Miller going to hand off to Doyle up the middle, and he's not going anywhere. Good job by the defensive line.
He stood up there. I think the first one coming out of the pile is number 1.
That's for Lindo Vincent in there on the defensive end position. So 2nd down and 10. Here comes Miller out across the middle. Good tackle once again in space by number 21, Lindell Tate, out there in space. Pickup of about 2 or 3 yards, and we got another 3rd down.
Here's where SNU really struggles on defense. They stopping their opponents on 3rd down. That's going to be key today.
So 3rd and 7. for the Rangers. Miller back to pass. Scrambling to his right. Out across the middle there, incomplete pass, and here comes the flag in late, as it was number 21, Lindell Tate, who I believe is going to be hit with the pass interference call.
Yeah, I think he was just flying out a little bit too late there. He was there to make the play, but I just think that he was just coming in a little bit too early.
So if it holds, that penalty will give the Rangers a new set of downs.
It will be placed from the spot of the foul, so that will give the Rangers a new set of downs.
So it was a 3rd and 7 there, and now it's 1st and 10 from the 37. So here's Miller in the shotgun. This time he had the handoff there. They had Tudman in the backfield, and they keep him there.
The first to make contact and cause him to the ground for the Crimson Storm out there was number 42, Michael McClung.
Mikey McClung, the freshman from Washington, Oklahoma. Able to get in there and make a good play. So 2nd and 11 now. For the Rangers. Fakes the handoff there, and Miller's got some room out to the right and slides down at about the 45, so good gain there for Miller. He's going to bring up another 3rd down.
That'll be a 3rd down and 4.
So here we go back again on 3rd down for the Rangers. They're 1 for 1, and the last time there was a penalty that gave them the 1st down. So I would still say they're perfect. Here we're about 5 minutes into the 1st quarter. Operating from the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. Miller rolling to his right.
Looks like he's going to get away from it and pick up the 1st down.
So the defense sending a blitz there, not able to get to him in time. Another 1st down for the Rangers. So they're near the 50-yard line now. It was a 61-yard pass from Miller to his wideout, Horatio Smith. And there's a screen pass out to Tudman in the backfield, and Tudman slips and falls. We saw Smith fall on that one kickoff.
So the result of that mishandled screenplay is going to be 2nd down and 15.
So this is a great opportunity here for this Crimson Storm defense to make a stand here. 2nd and 15 from the 42. Miller to Doyle. Doyle breaking a tackle up the middle. My goodness, he's got some power for a little guy. Scooting out across the 45 into SNU territory at about the 44. So a pickup of about 10, maybe 11 yards, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and short. So Rangers, here we go on 3rd, and they're going to call it 2 yards here from the 44. Doyle with the handoff again. He's got some room here up the middle at the 35.
Zachary Doyle was the runner there, and he was brought down by number 40, Blake Giles.
So a 1st and 10 coming up again for Northwestern. Miller fakes the handoff, looking to his left. Got a man open in the end zone, and he's found him again. It's number 18, Horatio Smith. That's the 2nd time that he's found him. This time it goes 36 yards for the score. So between the two of those players, between Reed, Miller, and Horatio Smith, Now 97 yards passing between the pair. The extra point is up, and it is good. So with 8:27 remaining in our first quarter, Northwestern comes right back and gets another score lead. It's 14-7. We'll be right back here at SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. 36-yard touchdown pass from Reed Miller to Horatio Smith gives the Rangers the lead once again, 14-7. It's Jonathan Martin and Lakeem Christmas back to return, and it's Christmas catching it in the end zone, and he's just going to take a knee, bringing out the offense. So, guys, I had two strange things I saw the last time on offense for SNU. Number one, it was Jacob Spady coming in at quarterback, and number two, it was Daniel Ramos going 50 yards to the house on the first play.
Absolutely. Definitely a curveball there by the head coach today, putting in some backups to see what they can do today against Northwestern.
And from what I see, it looks like Morrow and Spady are in the huddle at that time.
We talked about it in the pregame. Terrence Olds, their starting running back, out with an ankle injury. So Daniel Ramos gets the start, and
he's definitely been proving himself so far with that 57-yard gash to the end zone.
And guess who's coming back out for quarterback?
It's Spady once again.
And with Ramos and Whitfield in the backfield.
So the Crimson Storm will get things going from the 25. And this time they'll line up in the I formation. We haven't seen a whole lot of I formation here from the Crimson Storm. They normally operate in the shotgun, but handoff to Ramos up the middle. Tackled after about a 2-3 yard pickup.
I guess after about 7 games of running the shotgun and not getting a whole lot of results on it, they wanted to resort back to a power running game to start out. Maybe we'll see it go through the rest of the game, or maybe we may see the shotgun, which we're about to see actually right now.
So here's Spady in the shotgun here. He's going to drop back to pass. He's got Jonathan Martin across the middle. He's got a first down, but there is a flag in the backfield at the 25-yard line, and that's generally in the area of holding. We'll see what the call is. Indeed, it is holding. I like that pass though from Spady. Nothing too complicated there. Just a nice little 5-yard slant up the middle.
Absolutely not trying to make it too complicated for his first start of the game. Keeping it simple, maybe open up the passing game later in the game.
So the penalty will push them back to the 18. They're going to call it the 17, so it's going to bring up a second and about 16 here. Spady under center. Fakes the handoff. He's got a man open downfield. It was Martin, and he just overthrows him by a little bit.
So we've seen him that he's able to dish out short passes, but he's not afraid to throw a long ball either.
So after the penalty there, that looks like it's costing the Crimson Storm here. It's 3rd down and 17. Third and 17 here. Handoff goes to Ramos, and he's just going to get tackled at about the 20-yard line. So very safe play call there on 3rd down, and that's going to bring out the punt unit for the Crimson Storm. Miles Roll out there to send the punt away for SNU, the 5'11 freshman from Cypress, Texas. Horatio Smith is back to return. I've already seen how dangerous he can be. He's going to field at his own 45.
Oh, and we're going to have a block in the back penalty, so this one's definitely coming back.
So there goes Smith. There goes another flag. 2 flags are thrown. One back at the Rangers 42 and one in SNU territory at the 42. We did see one right when Smith caught it there. Connor Bent was pretty much in position to make the tackle. So granted, we see something crazy. It's going to be a block in the back on the Rangers. So they're going to decline the penalty at the 43 in SNU territory. And they're going to accept the penalty that was thrown right by the original fielded punt. So that'll move the Rangers back to the 32-yard line where they're ready to set up another drive.
Horatio Smith has proven 3 times today that he is by far the best offensive player on the field today. And SNU is really going to have to find a way to stop him, or else they're going to have quite a pickle the rest of the day.
So Reed Miller back to pass, scrambling to his right, throwing out of bounds.
Yes,
I actually believe that was a new quarterback for the Rangers.
Huh.
Ty Hooper.
Ty Hooper, number 7, the sophomore from Alva. As his pass is over the head of his target out there, going to bring up a 2nd and 10.
Experienced a little bit of pressure there from Ferlindo Vincent and Connor Bent there on the edge, causing him to make that pass to the out of bounds.
Vincent has been all over the backfield today. It's just a couple of inches away from him that he's missed these big plays.
So here it's Hooper once again in the game. Our quarterback. He's going to drop back, look to his right again. He's under pressure. And he is brought down by number 16, Preston Odette.
Big defensive sack right there for Odette.
Odette came off that left side, and there never really seemed to be anybody there. So a huge play for the SNU defense.
And if that doesn't wear down the psyche of a new quarterback in the game, I don't know what does. That was a big shot he took.
So they'll call it 3rd and 17 from their own 26 there. So he's throwing a shot down the field. He's got a man, and it's picked off by the Crimson Storm. Lindell Tate.
Great play.
That should liven up the morale of this SNU football team.
Great awareness there by Lindell Tate, the 5'9 freshman out here out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Gives some life back into this SNU offense.
So the interception will put SNU at their own 41. Good field position here for the Crimson Storm. So here they come back out. It's Spady out there once again. Seems that's what they're going to roll with, the 6'5 freshman from Hinton, Oklahoma. The pitch goes to Ramos, looking for some room out there. He's got about 4 or 5, but a flag comes in at the 43.
These flags are going to keep killing either team if they keep committing them.
We saw a holding penalty on the last drive. And a pretty good pickup on through the air from Spady to Martin. Oh, and it's going to be an offsides penalty against the Rangers, so this one benefits the Crimson Storm. We'll move them up 5 and replay first down. So plenty to work with here on 1st and 5 from the 46, excuse me. In the shotgun, it's Spady. Looking to pass. He's got a man out there to the left, and it's dropped.
That was number 25.
Christian Stitt, 5'9 freshman from Dover, Oklahoma.
He had the first down. It's just in and out of his hands.
And I like that play call because even even though that pass is dropped, it's still 2nd and 5. You got a lot to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2nd and 5, and they'll line up in the I formation. Oh, and there's a fumbled snap from Spady there, and I believe the Rangers have recovered this thing. They're going to sort it through on the pile, and yes, indeed, the Rangers have recovered it. Never really looked like Spady had control of that thing.
That is gut-wrenching if you're a Crimson Storm football player.
Yeah, a little bit. Take a little bit blow to their morale. Right as they get the turnover, they get a couple yards out of that penalty and turn right back over in the middle of the field.
So after the turnover, the Rangers will have it in Crimson Storm territory from the 45 in a 14-7 lead. So it's Hooper back out there at quarterback. He's going to hand off them up the middle.
Ooh.
Thrown down.
That was number 27, J.R. Singleton, who just body slammed the running back for Northwestern.
Absolutely. They snipped that one out and put him back.
That was number 10, Janari Glover, making his first appearance in the ball game.
Once again, you cannot disrespect Horatio Smith lining out on the far side of the perimeter.
So Glover will stay in there at running back here on 2nd and 10. And Hooper fakes the handoff looking across the middle. He's got a man across the 35 to the 33.
Ooh. Isaiah Young.
Big tackle by Isaiah Young after a pickup from Justin Schanbacher. That's going to move the chains for Northwestern Oklahoma State. So another first down here for Northwestern. Hooper back to pass. Being pressured, scrambling to his left. And he's going to scoot out of bounds at about the 32-yard line.
Looks like he's not going to gain anything on that run.
Good defense there by the Storm, keeping them contained.
Loss of one on the scramble from Hooper. So they'll call it 2nd and 11 here from the 33. Hooper again, this time dumping out to Glover. Across the 30, close to the 26.
Connor Bennett was lucky there. It looked like he may have had a targeting call if he's not careful.
So a pickup of about 7 there from Glover on the pass from Hooper. So another 3rd down upcoming for the Rangers. This will be another big stop for the Crimson Storm defense. So here's Hooper. Got a man out there to the 25, and what a play by Derek Carmouche.
Derek Carmouche sniffed that out, and they tried to throw it out to their playmaker, Horatio Smith, but it's just not going anywhere that time. There's a penalty on Northwestern. So no matter what's going to happen here, it's going to put Northwestern either in a 4th down position or in a bind.
The penalty marker is at the 36-yard line.
It's going to be a chop block against Northwestern. And it looks like SMU is going to accept the penalty and move them back 15 yards.
That's a big penalty, that chop block. You would rather it be a hold because holding is just 10 yards as opposed to a chop block, which is 15. So that'll push them back to the 41-yard line. 3rd and long here for the Rangers. Here comes the blitz. And Hooper.
Oh, no.
That was
nowhere to go.
Number 99 for the Crimson Storm.
Jordan Harding.
98, excuse me. Jordan Harding was there. He pretty much pushed the tackle into his quarterback. It wasn't that he's going to get credit for the sack, but he did not touch him at all.
Jordan Harding, a big fella in there, 6'1", 313, a junior from Tulsa, product of Broken Arrow.
So If I understand this correctly, this is a 4th and nearly 30 for Northwestern.
So Jonathan Martin lets it go over his head, and it gets near the end zone, and they can't get there in time to recover it. So SNU will set up shop once again.
Looked like number 17, Jacob Rudder, and number 16 for Northwestern, Will Hawkins, got a little bit of a altercation right there. So we may see a little bit more conflicts between those two.
So with 2:33 remaining in our first quarter, 66 total yards for SNU, 156 for Northwestern Oklahoma State. So here comes Spady back out there from the 20. Hands off to Ramos up the middle. Tackled at about the 23-yard line, gain of 3. I think it's really important here for SNU to really get this ball moving down the field to get some first downs. So here's Spady in the shotgun now. Going to hand off to Ramos again. Ramos gets another good pickup here for the Crimson Storm. It's going to bring up a 3rd and short.
Ramos is like a little bowling ball with legs. He just bowls in there, and he's not going to be stopped.
Ramos, 5'8", 185 pounds.
Great job by this SNU offensive line providing some holes for Ramos and giving Spady protection when he's dropped back to pass so far.
3rd and 2.
Very, very manageable here.
3rd and 2 from the 28. Spady going to drop back. Got a man out to the left. It's complete.
That's number 14, Ian Jones, with probably his biggest catch of his young career. He's a freshman this year.
Ian Jones, the 6-foot freshman from Cushing, Oklahoma, played quarterback in high school, but he's an athlete, able to play multiple positions, and he's able to get a good pickup for the Crimson Storm. Gain of 6 to move the chains. So a new set of downs for the Crimson Storm. Spady going to operate from the shotgun again. He's being pressured, and he can't get rid of it. The Rangers get to him. Number 15, Rontez Smith, was there for the stop for the Rangers.
So with that sack, that pretty much negates Ian Jones' big completion. Moving it back around 7 or 8 yards.
Coming off about 40 seconds left in this first quarter, see if they'll try to play conservative and run the ball or try to run out the clock with this play here.
So 2nd and 18 from their 26-yard line. Whistles blow, and I believe we're going to have our first timeout of the ball game. And we'll take it with them. 28 seconds to go in our first quarter. It's 14-7 Northwestern Oklahoma State. We'll be right back. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. 2nd and 18 out of the timeout here. They fake the handoff to Ramos. Spady having to run. Nearly falls down, but he gets rid of it. And it's very nearly picked off.
Since he was being pursued there, he couldn't really set his feet and deliver a strike. That was a dangerous throw. A little bit of a freshman mistake, but I'm sure that he's going to grow and understand that he can't make those kinds of throws.
This is Spady's second year on campus. He redshirted last year, but he was able to get some good mentoring from Alec LaFoon and James Morrow. So it's 3rd and 18. Back to pass, Spady. Got a man. That's Coleman Jr., number 89. Able to get a good pickup, and there's a late flag coming in. Hold on, folks. This could be interesting here. It's at the 43. Came in after the catch. So some extracurricular activity going on there after the play. And the penalty is going to go against the Crimson Storm.
It's a personal foul.
So it'll still be 4th down after the penalty. That'll push SNU back to the 21 with just 8 seconds left in this first quarter. The punt unit is back out there. Oh, and the punt from Miles Roll just sails off his foot the wrong way. We'll see where this thing ends up. That is the final play of this first quarter, and they'll mark it at the 49 in SNU territory. So at the end of the first quarter here, we saw a couple of early scores from Northwestern. SNU came back and responded to tie it up, and then right back Northwestern again. So it's 14-7 at the end of the first quarter. We'll step aside here at SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. We start the second quarter out. Trick play here from the Rangers. Reed Miller came back into the game at quarterback, but number 7, Ty Hooper, was out there lined up as a receiver, and so they threw to Hooper, who tried to proceed then to throw down the field, but SNU had good coverage on it out there. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10. So 2nd and 10 from the 49. The handoff goes to Doyle. Bouncing around across the 45 to the 42. Pickup of about 7. So 3rd and 4 coming up for the Rangers here. They've elected to change quarterbacks here again. It's Miller in the shotgun. He's going to scramble to his right. Had a man out there, incomplete. The intended target was number 19, Tamarick Courtney. So another defensive stand.
Looks like there's one of the other Northwestern wide receivers that we haven't called out yet, but I don't think he's going to be the last person.
So another defensive stand for the Crimson Storm here. 4th and 4 here. Jonathan Martin back to receive this punt. Bounces into the end zone. Where SNU will take it out. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back here at SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. We finally got that corrected on defense. Number 21, that was not Lindell Tate, but it's Floyd Chisholm. He's wearing number 21. Normally wears number 7, but we're back in action with Whitfield out across the left side close to the 24. So Lindell Tate is actually out with an injury. He does play defensive back, but it's Floyd Chisholm, who was a receiver, converted to a defensive back. He's actually the one who picked that pass off earlier in the game. So after Whitfield picks up 6, it's 2nd and 6 here from the 24. Spady going to hand off to Ramos. Tackled high around the head. The line judge over there didn't see it. But Ramos will pick up about 2 here, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 4.
This is an interesting position on the field of what you want to do if you're the coach for SNU. Do you throw it? Do you run it? You could potentially pick up the first down with either one. It's just what you believe your players can execute better.
3rd and 4 from the 26. Spady in the shotgun. Looking for a slant route. Jonathan Martin, he got him out across the 31, so that's going to be enough for a first down. Jonathan Martin with his first catch of the afternoon.
I'm really impressed with Spady of how he's picking his targets. He's delivering those short slants right on the money, and it's resulted in a first down and one earlier that was actually called back.
So Martin, the 5'11 junior from Moore, Oklahoma, Southmore product, able to get the first down for the Crimson Storm. So they're going to fake it to Ramos out across the middle. They got Ian Jones once again to the 41. Jones with his second catch.
Looks to me like Jones is being used a whole lot more in this offense. He was more of a dark horse wild card into the season, and now he's come back. He's come into this game. It looks like they want to use him a whole lot more.
I'm really liking this play calling from the Crimson Storm. These short passes. You see more and more college football teams now converting to this air raid short passing attack, and they've had success with it early. 2nd and short.
Jones is actually going to set up in a
shovel pass to Ian Jones, and that's going to be enough for a first down.
Jones again just could not be stopped, and that actually looked like a broken play.
It looked like a broken play, but I think that shovel pass was exactly what they designed. So offensive coordinator Josh Norman doing a good job here early for SNU.
Absolutely. Getting these freshman players he's got, let them have a little fun today.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of back-to-back first downs, and here come the Crimson Storm. Almost into Ranger territory here. Spady in the shotgun. Another short pass. It's Ian Jones. Another pickup of about 6 yards. Ian Jones.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That is exactly right, John. Having a lot of success going to Ian Jones, being able to make some plays and get some yards.
So Ramos comes out. Quincy Whitfield back in at tailback for the Crimson Storm. And they are now into Ranger territory. In the shotgun, they're going to pitch it to Ian Jones, who's got some room, a little bit of room out here on the left side, out across close to that 45-yard line, pickup of about 1 or 2.
Yeah, it looks like he's only going to pick up minimal yards on that one, but I think it's just showing that Ian Jones is actually very dangerous when you get him in space.
So Jones will come out of the game here on 3rd down and 3.
Actually, it looks like he took like a small little shot to his tail, so he's going to try and walk that little soreness off.
So in the shotgun here, Spady once again. Got a man out there trying to find the hole. That was Eldon Coleman Jr. was his intended target, so Spady will come off the field here, and I guess we'll see the punt unit come out once again.
Which really is a shame. I mean, that drive looked very, very good for the Storm as they were driving, and it looks like they could make something happen. But now we might just see another punt.
Miles Roll back to send it away for SNU. So he sends it off with Horatio Smith back there to return.
Great kick there.
Takes a couple of bounces and is downed at the 20-yard line.
Here comes that SNU defense trying to do what they've been trying to do all season and make stops and put that offense back on the field. So far, this has been the most entertaining game of the year as we've seen back and forth, back and forth. I'm really liking this.
We saw, like we talked about, those early scores, but pretty much the last, 15 minutes of this game so far, rolling off the clock, we haven't seen a whole lot of offensive action.
No, it's just been a lot of back and forth, punting the ball back to each other. As soon as momentum comes up, the defense comes up and gets a stop.
162 yards of total offense for Northwestern. SNU up to 117. 45 passing and 72 on the ground. Much of that 72 came from one play, being Daniel Ramos taking a 50-yard run to the end zone on his first carry of the ball game.
Definitely a good kickstart for the SNU Storm.
So far, on the defensive side, it's been Isaiah Young and Blake Giles leading the way in the tackling category, each with 3. A host of others with 2, being Butler, Chisholm, Singleton, McClung, and Roll. So we'll see if this SNU defense can once again make a good mark here. Northwestern has 8 first downs. SNU just has 4, so here they come back out from the 21. They fake the handoff, and Connor Bent going to get him in the backfield for a sack.
Oh, that's going to get Connor Bent fired up. He's probably one of the most emotional people on this football team, and that's just going to fuel the fire.
Connor Bent could not have read that more perfectly. Reed Miller faked the handoff to Doyle, and Connor Bent was right there to react very quickly to make the play. So 2nd down and loss of about 6 yards there. So here comes Miller rolling to his left. Thrown across his body, that's a difficult throw, and he's incomplete.
And here comes a very long 3rd down. 3rd down at about 17 or 18.
So this pretty much, the last broadcast, guys, we talked about it. The defense was doing its job in terms of getting stops, forcing turnovers. It's just the offense that needed to make something happen.
And it looks like with the offense, they're almost there. They're just right there. They just need to make 1 or 2 more things happening.
3rd and 17. Here's Miller.
SNU brings the pressure. He's breaking some ankles out there.
And so Miller will scoot out of bounds. See where they'll mark him down at.
He's going to be about 3 yards short on that one. Very impressive scramble, but it's just not going to be enough.
So a 3 and out here from Northwestern's offense. So the Crimson Storm defense doing a good job once again.
Everybody is contributing. The defensive line and the linebackers are contributing to each other, getting pressure on the quarterback, forcing some bad throws and some scrambles. I really like where they're headed today.
Jonathan Martin back at the 25 to field this punt.
And a line drive kick there right to Jonathan Martin.
Takes a Northwestern bounce into SNU territory at the 18 where they'll mark it dead.
That's the best punt that we've seen all day long. Very impressive. 60 yards, I think.
Yeah, that's a very good kick.
Low one on the ground. So we talked about it earlier. We had an update on women's soccer. They took that game 1-0 against ECU. So here comes SNU's offense right back out there. It's Jacob Spady out there once again with Ramos in the backfield. Spady going to keep it on the read option.
Oh, he's got some room out there trying to get a first down, and he will.
Out across, close to that first down marker. That's a lot. I think with Jacob Spady, I think he's faster than most people give him credit for.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely.
We saw a couple weeks ago Spady come in for James Morrow to run the read option a couple of times. Him and Morrow are built basically about the same. Spady 6'5", 195. Morrow 6'7". He weighs a little more than Spady, but Spady can move, as we saw in that last play. Picks up 10, enough for the first down, so from the I formation here. They're going to hand off to the fullback.
Wow, what a big hole.
Got some room up the middle. Down across the 40 into SNU territory. They put Quincy Whitfield in there at fullback, and, man, he exploded out of that hole.
That is really going to cause a stir in this SNU crowd, this SNU football team, and it's just going to, if they can keep this kind of pace going, we'll see them in the end zone.
I really liked this play calling today from the head coach, Josh Norman. He's really mixed it up. I haven't seen some of these plays that they're running. They have not shown all season. So a big gain there for Whitfield, just down into Ranger territory.
Just like the SNU jingle, it's a time to begin. Oh, great pass out there to Ramos, wide open.
The dump pass goes to Ramos, but they are going to rule it incomplete.
They're very lucky that they called that incomplete.
Actually, that could have been quite a big loss potentially for Ramos.
That would have been disastrous for this drive. To open up with a big play like that and to throw it backwards and lose about 15 yards right off the bat, that could be horrible. Thankfully, they're going to call it incomplete. It's second down and 10.
I think they're going to get together on this drive and keep pounding Ramos and Whitfield. If they keep having Jonathan Martin in single coverage, I'd take those chances any day.
Second and 10 from the 30. Spady going to fake the handoff. Got Ian Jones out there. Out across to the 22. So we've seen a little bit of everything from Ian Jones in terms of catching the ball, running the ball. He was a dual-threat quarterback in high school.
Well, technically on the roster, you'll see Ian Jones as utility, and he definitely is the utility. You can use him all over the field. I bet if you really, really wanted to, you could line Ian Jones out at safety or corner if you just are desperate.
Third and short here for SNU. Ramos gets it on the handoff, and I think he put that ball on the ground, but I think SNU has recovered it. Will not be enough for the first down.
Now, it might just be my gutsy play combo. With the way that the ball is on the field, it would probably make a little bit more sense to go for it here, but it looks like they're just going to line up for a field goal.
It'd be 4th and 3 here, so Carlos Anguiano out for the field goal try. He's 3 of 4 on the season, and this one is going to be
a 41-yarder.
41-yard field goal here. The kick is up, and it gets there, and it's good.
Just barely, though. It looked like it was.
He was kicking into that north wind.
Great shot. Great power there by Carlos.
And he gets it to go. So with 6:01 remaining in the half, SNU has cut the lead in half. They trail 14-10. We'll be right back here at SNUathletics.com. A 41-yard field goal from Carlos Anguiano to end the drive there for the Crimson Storm. 14-10, 6:01 remaining.
SNU certainly not going down without a fight in this game.
Guys, I think that last offensive possession, other than that first one where they scored, that's probably been their best offensive drive they've had since that first opening drive.
Absolutely.
No
Spade
doubt.
was able to connect with his receivers. They were able to pound the ball with Quincy Whitfield, sprint up the gut for about 40 yards. That was a great momentum builder.
Looks like we got Connor Bent telling Carlos Equiano exactly what he wants. We might be seeing something a little bit strange, maybe.
Certainly lined up in a weird kicking formation here. He's about 6 yards behind the ball, and they do a little pooch kick. Fair catch signaled for at the 32. By number 45, Niles Villalobos.
And you'll see Connor Bent walk to the sideline like, oh, man, wish he didn't call fair catch on that one.
Hey, he was about to light him up if he hadn't called fair catch.
He was about to either light him up or go get the ball.
That's right. That ball's live past 10 yards. So if he's able to catch it, he can take care of that.
So from the 33, the Rangers set up shop again. Forced to punt their last 3 drives here.
There goes Zachary Doyle up the middle.
Doyle, not much doing there on that run. Maybe picks up 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what happens when you hit a wall.
That wall was named Blake Giles.
The defensive line, I think, guys, is doing a great job early in this, getting, like you talked about, Connor, getting some good penetration on that quarterback.
Absolutely. Off the edge with Fernando Vincent and Preston Odette.
So here's Miller scrambling to his left. Giles is right there, and he forces him out of bounds at about the 39. So a 4-yard gain from Miller on the scramble. Going to bring up a 3rd down.
Let's see if the SNU defense is going to be a little more resilient this time yet again, forcing for a 4th punt in a row.
The Rangers have converted 3 of their 7 third down conversions. And this one only 4 yards here.
Looks like the defense is going to bring some pressure, bring some extra guys up here.
Miller's by himself back there. Looking for his man. He's got him out there, but good coverage by Chisholm.
Looks like he's going to be a little bit short.
Great stop there by Floyd Chisholm.
So what
He's
a conversion. A receiver converted to cornerback for Floyd Chisholm, 6 foot 180 sophomore from Oklahoma City.
And you know what, guys? I think that they're going to go for it on this one.
4th and 1. I don't even think it's a yard.
Single.
But
He's all
nonetheless, Miller's back there. He's going to take it right up the gut himself and slide down for a 1st down. Reed Miller.
That's a good play call, in my opinion. Just take it, go up, just go behind your lineman, and then just slide down. You only need 1 yard.
So the junior from Pampa, Texas does it himself and gets the 1st down. Coming on about 4 minutes remaining here in this first half. So here's Miller looking for his man, and it was J.R. Singleton that got a hand on it there.
He wishes he had that one back. That had an interception written all over it. He's just a little bit quicker.
The 6'1 freshman from Muskogee, Oklahoma, Fort Gibson product. Able to make a good play there, 2nd and 10. from the 45. Quarterback draw. Here comes Reed. Reed's got some room out there. Miller out across the 35 into SNU territory. So a design quarterback draw from Reed Miller.
After
gain of about 20.
Reed Miller, I remember hearing about him on the local news station in the Panhandle of Texas. He's something special. He can move and he can pass. He's pretty impressive.
Here he is back to pass, taking a shot down the field, looking for his man. Oh, what a catch out there by number 18, Horatio Smith.
That's his second or third touchdown.
That is his third touchdown.
Third touchdown of the game, and really, even we're going to acknowledge that catch was sensational.
Floyd Chisholm was out there. He got a hand on that ball, but after Chisholm tipped it, great hand-eye coordination from Horatio Smith to get his hands on that thing and pull it in for a 34-yard touchdown catch for Horatio Smith. That boosts his total up to 134 yards on just 4 catches. So after the PAT, it's up and good. 3:28 remaining. Northwestern leads SNU 21-10. We'll be right back at SNUathletics.com. So there you can see from Horatio Smith his statistics. 4 catches, 134 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's accounted for all 21 points scored from the Rangers here in the first half.
Doesn't get much better than that, guys.
So Jonathan Martin will field the kick in the end zone and just take a knee. So I think, guys, this is a pretty big offensive series here for SNU. They were on defense first, so they will get the ball to start the second half, and with just 3:28. Guys, if they can move the ball down the field and chew some of this clock, they can go into break with a score, and then maybe they get the ball right back.
You know what? It really doesn't matter whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. As long as they get points on the board and go into the halftime with a one-possession game, that could do wonders moving down the road.
Absolutely, that's definitely a momentum booster for the Storm here.
So up the middle, it's Daniel Ramos. Pickup of about 2 or 3. So Spady gonna roll out to his left. Just throwing it away over here to the left side.
Definitely not exactly what you would want on that play, but here's a big third down for the Storm.
With the way the play call has been today, I wouldn't be surprised if they just play it conservative and go into the half, not making any risks, a deep pass, and a possible interception. But I've been wrong before.
3rd and 8 here from the 27. Spady going to drop back, looking for Ian Jones, and it's picked off at the 40.
Sorry about that, fellas. I think I just jinxed us there.
We totally forgive you, Connor McKenzie.
Thank you.
It was number 25, Jordan Norris, the junior from Garland. After it was tipped up in the air, he got his hands on it to pick it off for the Rangers.
That ball was a little bit behind the intended receiver and got tipped up in the air, and it's just easy pickings from that point. It's just if that ball was thrown a little bit farther in front, that could have been a big play.
Yeah, it was just a little bit behind him on his back shoulder. Should have been closer to his front shoulder where his hands were, but mistakes happen. He'll regroup when they get the ball back here, if they get the ball back this half.
So from the 30-yard line here, they just got 30 yards. Reed Miller being pressured, getting down in the backfield.
Great response.
Preston Odette, his second sack.
Man, he is just a man amongst boys today. He and Fernando Vincent coming off the edge are just giving whatever quarterback they have problems today.
That's exactly what this team needed after an interception. Just dropped him back for a sack.
Loss of 11 there after the sack. So, man, if this defense can get a stop here, that would be huge. 2:23 and counting remaining here. On 2nd and 21. Ooh, a botched snap there, but they somehow get it back. It's Doyle making some people miss out there. He's hit out of bounds.
He is one shifty running back out there.
At about the 28.
That's impressive, as that play should not have happened with the snap that he got. I think SNU was a little bit fooled, thinking that the quarterback might have kept it.
So Doyle picks up about 13 yards there on the scoot to the outside. It brings up 3rd down at about 8. Like we said, fellas, this is a pretty big 3rd down here for the Crimson Storm defense. Here's Miller being pressured off the edge.
Connor Bennett coming around behind him again.
And he'll scoot out of bounds, and I believe that's going to be a holding penalty.
That was number 50, if I'm not mistaken.
Number 50, Kervin Brown, sophomore from San Antonio, brought Fernando Vincent to the ground in the backfield.
The bringing him to the ground part, that's legal, but, I mean, as long as you're blocking him. But I think he stayed on top of him the entire time, so that will result in a penalty.
Again, I just can't harp on this enough about how much pressure this defense is putting on the quarterback, Reed Miller or Ty Hooper. They're just giving him problems and making him work for whatever pass he's trying to complete.
The bookends.
Big 3rd down here for the Rangers of Northwest Oklahoma State.
So a 3rd and long here. They run a screen pass over here to the left. It's Horatio Smith making some people miss. He has some speed, guys. He gets out across the 25 to the 24. It won't be enough for the first.
But I think that it will be enough for field goal range.
See if they elect to do that, and I think the offense is going to stay out there with 1:15 and counting.
Here we go.
They want a touchdown here on this drive, and there's going to be a timeout.
Maybe they want to think things over.
On the field, head coach Matt Walter calls timeout for Northwestern Oklahoma State, and we'll take a quick one with him. 1:10 left, 21-10 Northwestern. We're back out of the timeout here. It's 4th and 4. Miller going to take off running here on 4th down. He's hit but continues to stay up down to the 15.
He is one tough guy.
Reed Miller. Easy. He's been making plays through the air and on the ground. He's got 157 passing yards to go along with 65 rushing yards. And so over 200 all-purpose yards for Reed Miller.
The clock is going to tick under 45 seconds here, so.
The screen pass attempted to Doyle is incomplete. So, guys, it looks like Northwestern is threatening to score. I think it's huge for this SNU defense if they can just hold them to a field goal and keep this thing within 2 possessions.
I think that's key right here. Just keep it as minimal as possible. The offense is sputtering, the defense is playing well, but they may be getting gassed here at the end of the half.
2nd and 10 here from the 16. Miller, another screen pass. He's got a man out here making some moves. There's a flag coming in at the 8.
Looks like there's going to be a holding penalty as well as a Crimson Storm player who's on the floor.
Riley Hess was the one who made the catch.
Looks like that's going to be number 9 for the Crimson Storm, Derek Carmouche. Devin Carmouche.
Carmouche, one of the starting cornerbacks for the Crimson Storm.
And
another chop block. Another chop block on the Northwestern Oklahoma State Rangers.
I think that's what's resulted in Carmouche's injury, as he was ready to make a tackle, and then two Rangers converged on him and hit him. One hit him high, one hit him low, and that's going to drop him and drop the Ranger offense back 15 yards. Fortunately, he's able to walk off the field.
So good to see Carmouche under his own power leave the field. 33 seconds to go. We'll see how far this penalty pushes the Rangers back. They'll replay first down. And it looks like they're going to move this thing all the way back to the 26-7 line.
The first down, ladies and gentlemen, is actually at the 7-yard line. So that
1st and 21.
Yep.
For the Rangers, and like we talked about, this is huge for SNU to see if they can get a stop, hold them to a field goal, or not give them anything. That would be big since SNU does get the ball.
Do we have another timeout?
No, we had some malfunction with the clock. The clock operator downstairs, I believe, got a little antsy on the clock, and a couple of seconds ran off unintentionally. The clock reads 29 seconds, but I believe it should be about 33 seconds.
Yeah, you're right, about 32 seconds. But on the Storm, we're watching out for Horatio Smith. He's been burning them all day, but we haven't heard from these last 2 drives. So let's see what kind of play that Northwestern is looking at.
So the clock does resume on the whistle here from the ref. So here it comes, the clock moving, 25 seconds and counting. Screen pass out to Doyle. Got some room out here. Scoots out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. So a pickup of about 10 for Doyle. Clock stops at 17 seconds. So this will bring up a 3rd down, as the ref initially signaled I was going to replay first down after the chop block, but they marked it as 2nd down instead. So after that 2nd down run from Doyle, we reached a 3rd and 10.
Once again, you cannot disrespect Horatio Smith on the left side. He's always going to be a factor.
Absolutely. The screen game for Northwestern's been working for him.
And they're looking to him on the fade.
Whoa.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Wow.
Horatio Smith
does
it again.
Who? Horatio Smith. He's a freak.
Absolutely.
Is what he is. He's caught 2 touchdown passes, both of which are on fades, and both of which in no way many people, unless your name is Odell Beckham Jr., are you going to come up with.
Yeah, he's definitely been a force today, John. No doubt about it.
The thing that makes it even scarier is looking on the roster and seeing the little FR next to his name indicating he is a freshman.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He skied
that kid
over
is
Floyd Chisholm to make that catch. 11 seconds to go. It's 28-10. Northwestern Oklahoma State will step aside for a second here at SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNU Athletics.com. It's 28-10, 11 seconds to go. Horatio Smith has had one incredible first half. Keem Christmas fielding it. He's going to get down across the 30 with 6 seconds to go in this first half. It's 28-10. He by himself, guys. Horatio Smith, I think, is pretty much just sucked the life out of this entire SNU.
He's unbelievable. He's accounted for 24 points. The other 4 coming from the place kicker.
He's definitely made his impact today.
So Jacob Spady will step out and just take a knee here. And that will be the final play of this first half. So SNU will head to the break with a 28-10 deficit. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll break down this first half as well as what we're looking for out in the second half. Keep it with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Tanner Stiles alongside my partners John Hale and Connor McKenzie. It's halftime here. Northwestern Oklahoma State leading SNU 28-10. Guys, what'd you take away from that first half?
2 words. Horatio Smith. What else do you say? The guy has all 4 of Northwestern's touchdowns, and pretty much, I mean, I think they put like 3 different corners on him, and they can't stop him. If SNU is going to come back and win this game, they have got to find a way to shut down Horatio Smith.
6 catches for 164 yards and 4 touchdowns.
That's a
in that first half. Connor, what else did you see?
One thing I saw was the SNU defense continually getting after him. The defensive line, particularly for Lindo Vincent, of all people, were getting after him. Coming off the edge, he hadn't had the biggest impact early in the year, but these last couple games he's been getting to a better groove. So I've been really impressed with the defensive line and some of the linebacker core putting some pressure on both quarterbacks today. I've
been impressed with Jacob Spady. Spady got the start this afternoon. He completed 9 of 15 passes for 53 yards. And he did throw an interception, but I mean, other than that pick, I mean, he really came in and we talked about he completed some short passes, was able to make some things happen, with his feet, being able to scramble a couple of times. So it'll be interesting to see how Spady comes out in the second half. Total offense, Northwestern had 287 total yards of offense. SNU 176. 210 of those 287 from Northwestern came through the air, and Horatio Smith with 160. Of those 210 yards. First downs also has been played a big factor. Northwestern with 13 first downs, SNU with just 6. Third down conversions, Northwestern only 4 of 10. So we've talked, the defense, pretty much they've, haven't played the worst game. They just, offense, like we talked about, just struggling right now to move the ball.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how the defense gets great stops day in and day out. And the offense just kind of sputters. I'm not sure if there's just miscommunication between the quarterback and wide receivers, or the defense on the other side is just playing a great ball game as well. But I think halftime they make some adjustments and come out firing this half when they get the ball back.
So, guys, what are you looking for maybe in the second half for SNU to come out? They're going to get the ball to start the second half. What are you looking for early, John?
2 things. Number 1, let Jacob Spady do what he does. His numbers may not show it, but he's really improving, and he's really performing to the best of his ability right now, doing the best that he can. And really, the best is actually pretty good. And number 2, I expect for them to put a big circle around number 18 for Northwestern and make sure that he does not touch the ball if they can help it.
I think you're right, John. You just hit those points pretty great. I mean, it's going to be tough to cover a talent like Horatio Smith. A defender's been draped all over him since that first touchdown catch he had, but maybe a double coverage or playing a little softer zone would be better suited for the SNU defense. I would like to see a little more Daniel Ramos running up the gut and maybe bouncing outside, set him up for a screen pass. Those have been wide open when he's been available, so maybe a little more differentiation with their passing game and their running game could be the key. Their defense is playing lights out.
We'll see if they can come out with some energy here in the second half. We're coming on about 5 minutes here before we get started in the second half. We'll step aside. Got the second half kickoff coming up right after the break. We're back here. Here in Bethany, the second half getting started here with the kickoff to SNU. It's going to be Jonathan Martin fielding this from his own 1. Ooh, and he is met at the 18-yard line. What a tackle out there. I believe that was number 51, Mikael Larvey. So here comes the Crimson Storm offense, trailing 28-10. Fellas, I think the Crimson Storm need to move this ball on the field and put some points up.
No doubt. They need to realize that if they do not score fast, we could be in for another long day.
I like to see them get back in the groove of what they did with Spady earlier in this first half, throwing some quick, short passes and throw some 10, 15-yard bombs.
So they'll set up shop at their own 19-yard line. Spady in there in the shotgun. Hands off to Daniel Ramos. Fights forward, trying to get back to the 20, but
I think he had a little bigger hole if he just bounces outside that tackle and maybe get 4 or 5 more yards.
No gain for Ramos. Ramos in the first half had 74 yards rushing after picking up 50 yards on 1 carry on the first offensive play from SNU's.
Quincy Whitfield also 2 carries for 45 yards, a big 40-yard gainer that led SNU to that field goal.
2nd and 10 from the 19. Spady looking for Jonathan Martin. He's got him. See where they'll stop his forward momentum. They're going to say it's at the 24. So we'll pick up a 5 for Jonathan Martin, his 2nd catch of the afternoon.
No, big 3rd down here. It's right in the middle, right at 5. You could run it, you could pass it. It's just one of those where it's just kind of like a math problem. You figure it out, it works out great. If you don't, then you're gonna really be in a deep hole.
We'll see what they elect to do here. 3rd and 5. Spady going to pass. He's being pressured. Steps up in the pocket, fighting forward, and he's just going to get back to the line of scrimmage. So this will be a 3 and out for the Crimson Storm offense.
It's an unfortunate first drive there for the Storm, but I think they'll start to pick things back up on defense and get the momentum back in their favor and start firing.
And back to return for Northwest is Horatio Smith.
Oh, man. Just like you said, John, put a big circle, put a star, wrap a bow around it for Horatio Smith.
He only has 1 punt return for -3 yards, but chalk up some more negative yardage there as Connor Bent able to get in there and make a play.
He's had enough of Horatio Smith. He's going to.
Connor Bent just said, I don't guard you because I'm a linebacker, but if I could, that would happen.
That's about it. That's what happened.
So here come the Rangers from their 35-yard line.
The Lone Rangers. See if they go with Reed Miller back at quarterback. Starting off this second half.
They do go with, we saw Ty Hooper come in for a couple of series in a row, but
a big surprise to me has been Zach Doyle being able to bounce outside and shake some defenders for some great gains today.
Doyle's actually in the backfield again, and he's one of those smaller backs that can just bounce off people. He's really, really good at making that bounce.
Doyle has 51 yards on the ground on 7 carries. Reed Miller in that first half, not only did he have 184 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, but he also had 65 yards on the ground to bring his total to just under 230 all-purpose yards for the first half. So the officials were discussing where the ball actually was, but they'll say it's the 35. In the shotgun, it's Miller. Hand off to Doyle. His 8th carry goes for maybe 1 yard. Tackled by Blake Giles. Giles had 5 tackles in the first half, and that's his 6th. That'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Another handoff to Doyle. Out across the 40 to the 43.
Just short of a first down. There'd be a 3rd down and 1 for the Lone Rangers.
3rd and 2 coming up for Northwestern.
I wouldn't be surprised to see it right back to Doyle on this one.
Yeah, he's been pounding all day, trying to punch his defense, but I think Connor Bent's had enough of him today.
4 for 10 on 3rd down conversions and make it 5 for 11. As, like you guys said, they gave it to Doyle, and he gets enough for the first. So right on the 50 here, and a new set of downs to work with for Northwestern. They're going to pitch it to Horatio Smith out across the right. He's got a lot of speed as he's brought down at about the 43-yard line.
This guy is just a human highlight reel, just one play after another.
Exactly.
That's actually his first rushing attempt of the game, and it goes for 7 yards. So there's the toss to Tudman. We haven't seen much of him since that opening drive, and he kicks it out, making a couple people miss, and he gets the first down. Jerry and Tudman.
Looks like a 12-yard gain for that one. Tudman on a roll.
His second carry of the ball game. Goes for 11, enough for a first. So here's Northwestern now in SNU territory. Miller back to pass, taking a shot down the field. He's got a man in the end zone, and he finds him for a touchdown.
That was number 28. Arte Murrah Jr. I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Arte Murrah Jr.
From L.A., California, streaking down the middle of the field.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is the first time that someone that is not named Horatio Smith scoring a touchdown for Northwestern today.
5 touchdown passes now for Reed Miller, and the extra point is up, and it's good. So Northwestern flexing its muscles here to start the second half. They jump out to their largest lead of the ball game now. They lead 35-10. We'll step aside here at SNUathletics.com. There you can see Reed Miller, 12 of 23 for 5 touchdown passes. 4 to Horatio Smith and 1 to Arte Murrah Jr. And they lead 35-10.
Excuse us technical difficulties as Tanner's microphone is cutting in and out. Trying to get that fixed.
So SNU will have it here.
After a nice little return there by Lakeem Christmas up the left side to the 21-yard line. Boys, what do you look for on this drive here from the Crimson Storm?
I look for them to get the ball moving, but then again, we've been looking to see that happen the entire season. Hopefully we can see it finally happen here.
Spady going to hand off to Whitfield. Got some room out to the left side. Out across the
move.
30 to the 35. Close to the 40. Big pickup For Quincy Whitfield, he's had a pretty good game on the ground.
Well, he's up to about 60, 65 yards now for the whole day on 3 carries alone.
See if SNU on their passing attack. It's be interesting to see if they elect to go with these short passes that they had success on the drive where they pushed it down to get a field goal. They line up in the I formation here on a 1st and 10. They're going to hand off to Whitfield, who lined up in that fullback position, but this time the Rangers were ready for it. Whitfield might have gotten one. We saw that same play earlier in the game, and Whitfield burst through the line of scrimmage to pick up about 40.
Looks like 96 for the Rangers is down and looking for some assistance.
Jason Millay, sophomore from Lawton, Oklahoma. Is the injured Ranger. So he's able to get up and being helped off the field. Have a couple of scores around the GAC that have gone final. Harding takes the win today against East Central, 62-20.
Henderson State able to hold on at home against Southern Arkansas, went 29-28. A couple of odd scores there.
Arkansas Tech finishes off Southeastern Oklahoma State 57-37. So we're back here on 2nd and 9. Spady taking a shot down the field looking for Ian Jones. Underthrew him, and it's picked off again. They're going to, SNU's trying to say it hit the ground.
I'm actually going to agree with the SNU offense. I really do think that it did hit the ground.
It was the outside linebacker, number 33, Chris Ladd, who picked it off. And, man, these officials, they aren't even going to discuss it.
Unfortunately, we don't have review technology with us here at D2. So that
probably would have come in handy today for the Storm. Maybe continue that drive if that pass is intercepted. But it is what it is, and Northwest Oklahoma State will take over at the 20-yard line.
So after the interception here, Northwestern, like you said, they've got it here. From their own 20, Reed Miller.
Good containment there for Horatio Smith this time.
Mikey McClung making the tackle out there.
Excuse me, that wasn't Horatio Smith. I'm surprised. I've been calling Horatio Smith's name all day. That was Jason Giantre, the wide receiver out of Florida City, Florida, junior.
Pick up a 1, maybe 2 yards here, so it's 2nd and 9. Miller looking for him again out there. Incomplete. So that'll bring up a 3rd down for the Crimson Storm.
Just a little bit too much behind his receiver there. And you know what? I don't think it's out of the question to look for Mr. Zachary to get the ball right here.
Miller looking for his man. I think he was looking for Horatio Smith out there, but he underthrew him. Incomplete pass, so a 3-and-out from the Northwestern offense.
Good containment there by the Crimson Storm out there. Floyd Chisholm again on the coverage. Playing really well today on both sides.
I can't fault Floyd Chisholm at all for his performance out there. I mean, he's in the right position in terms of defending Horatio Smith. Smith just making some incredibly athletic plays.
Absolutely, just one after another. But he was able to hold him on that possession.
Sometimes there's just something they can't really defend.
This is a great kick.
High booming kick goes down the right side, and man, that took a great bounce, but it hit the sideline first, out of play at the 32.
SNU's very lucky that one didn't go any further.
Because if that thing would have bounced maybe a yard more to the right,
we're talking
it would have been in play, and that ball would have ended up on the 5-yard line.
Good break there for the Crimson Storm offense. Getting some better field position. That's one thing that's been holding them back today. Their field position has been about the 20 and behind them, so maybe a little bit more ground to cover, a little less ground to cover, and being further towards the 50 would be more beneficial for them today.
They took advantage of good field position on that kickoff after Northwestern initially scored to open the game, 7-0. Christmas got it out to the 50-yard line. So here they are from the 32. Spady looking for Jonathan Martin, and that thing is way overthrown.
I think he was trying to go for a double move there, but the defender played the play very well, keeping Jonathan Martin from extending the play.
Martin was double covered out there, but Spady just on his deep balls so far we've seen him throw, they've all been just a little too far. Overthrown, 2nd and 10 here.
Again, this is his first real type game action, so he's just probably getting his feet wet. And his completion will start to come together the more he gets to play.
Something tells me that we might be seeing him more.
Oh, look, we have a fumble on the play.
Whitfield took the snap, and I don't know if he really ever had that handoff. Nonetheless, it hit the deck, and Northwestern has recovered it.
And a big blow to the morale of this Crimson Storm offense.
And Whitfield comes up holding his left arm there. Not sure if that was the arm he was carrying the football in that caused him to lose it, but nonetheless, it's a turnover for the Crimson Storm, their second of this second half. So an interception and now a fumble. Will give Northwestern great field position. Start their drive here with 8:49 remaining from the 31. The toss out to Tudman. Good coverage out there by number 32, Jonathan Cotton.
Along with Blake Giles on the tackle there. Great defense and great read awareness there by those players.
Cotton, the 5'11 junior from Sharpsburg, Georgia.
It's now 5 tackles on the day for Blake Giles. I believe that's the first for Jake Cotton.
Loss of about 5.
Here
So
comes
here's
the blitz.
Reed Miller taking a shot down the field.
And that is not good, ladies and gentlemen. Number 42 for SNU.
He was looking for Lorenzo Rosario.
Number 42 SNU, but Mikey McClung just took a shot from a block, and he immediately grabbed his leg. Grabbed his knee, actually. So that's no good. There's also a flag on the play.
Flag is sitting at the 42. I think there was a holding penalty back there when Miller was scrambling. Get the official call.
I think we're going to call a roughing the passer penalty against SNU because I saw the quarterback go down late as well. So we have a penalty against SNU to move them up about 15 yards, and we have Mikey McClung in serious pain, it looks like.
That's just been a heartbreaker this season for these SNU players, just injuries mounting up one after another, whether it's backup quarterback Alex Laffoon or running back Terrence Olds and countless players on the defense. It's just been a big blow to their
including
core.
Will. I was going to say, adding on to your, Connor, including Will House.
Absolutely.
All GAC tackle from last year. And even Larry Butler on defense has missed some games. So Mikey McClung out there, they've got him upstanding now.
They're actually going to have to help him off the field. Yep, it looks... See, my father is a sports trainer, or started out as a sports trainer for West Texas A&M University, and I've learned a little bit from him. Whenever you see that, you're immediately thinking major knee injury.
Yeah, it's a big cost to this SNU defense. Hopefully, these guys will be inspired and want to play even harder for their teammates. They've been playing really great today.
So McClung being helped off the field here. And play will resume here. Northwestern's got it here at the 20-yard line. It was a personal foul on, like you said, the Crimson Storm that moved them up to the 20. So here now in the red zone. Miller going to hand off to Doyle.
And he's not going anywhere.
Hit at the line of scrimmage by, I believe it was Preston Odette.
And the rest of the defense.
And Blake Giles.
Blake Giles again. I've been 6 tackles on the day for him. He and Connor Bennett have been a force to be reckoned with. Week in and week out, and they're just making their presence known as usual.
So a loss of 2 yards there from Doyle. Bring up a 2nd and 12. Doyle gets the handoff again. Out across the right side. Gets to about the 19. Pickup of about 3 yards. That's going to bring up 3rd down. Third and 9 from the 19.
Looks like we got another blitz
Miller
coming.
Looking for Riley Hess in the back of the end zone, and he overthrows him.
Just a little bit too far on his right there. It was out of bounds before it even reached the end zone, in my opinion.
So the incompletion will bring up 4th down, and here comes the field goal unit. Right back out. It's number 16, Will Hawkins, who made a field goal. Excuse me, they did not attempt a field goal earlier. They went for it on that 4th down. So this is Hawkins' first field goal attempt of the game. And it is up, and it hits the crossbar, no good. So there's a positive note for the Crimson Storm.
Special teams seem to be getting it done. They're keeping the returns at negative yards. I believe he's at negative 6 yards on his returns today, Horatio Smith, and forcing the kicker to miss his field goal.
So the missed field goal will give SNU the ball here at the 20-yard line, right at it. And SNU will come back out, ready to start another drive.
Jacob Spady in the backfield with Jonathan Martin to his left. Another variance in the Crimson Storm offense. So unique play calling here by the play caller here.
1st and 10. Here's Spady, a dump pass to Jonathan Martin. Martin's
block.
got some room out here across the 30. Flag comes down at the 25.
And I believe
I think we have another fumble.
He's tackled at the 35.
And Snew recovers this time, thankfully.
But I think
he recovers it, but we could see a holding penalty here on the Crimson Storm.
I think that was number 61 who just pushed on the back and leveled the positive attacker. So, yeah, we'll be moving this one back.
That's John Clark, number 61, who is the backup to the all-GAC tackle, Will House, who has been out, I believe, the last 3 to 4 weeks with an ankle injury.
Now the 5th penalty on the Crimson Storm. It's just those little things that'll shoot you in the foot and keep stalling your drives.
Seems to be the tune of the entire SNU football season, hasn't it? Do something great and it's immediately called back, or it negates itself or something.
Well, they got a lot of freshmen and sophomores. They don't have a lot of playing experience, so they're probably just trying to get their feet under them and try to perform to the best. But they're just a little nervous, but they will come together more times. They play together, and they have more playing time in general.
Very true.
So after the penalty, they go back to the 16, 1st and 14 here. Since Jonathan Martin got great yardage there, they aren't heavily penalized after that block in the back.
And they're just barely going to get that
Jacob
play
Spady keeps it on the read option out across the 25, scoots out of bounds at about the 26, 27. Pickup of about 10 for Jacob Spady.
Great play call there. Jacob Spady with some wheels out there and some great blocking out there by Christmas.
That's the 2nd time we've seen him keep on the read option and pick up 10 yards.
I think he may find something that's been working for him, that read option. It's not really been that present in Snoo's season so far, so it's something the defense hasn't had to look for, so maybe catching him off guard.
So 2nd and 3 from the 27. Jonathan Martin is in playing running back, and he'll take the handoff, and he will go down at, I believe it's going to be the 26, so he may lost a yard there, Jonathan Martin. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 4.
Seems this Northwest Oklahoma State defense is just committing to the run, putting about 6, 7, 8 guys in the box every time and making Jacob Spady try to beat him deep. Jonathan Ramos back in to the right of Jacob Spady.
You'll see him on the field right now. Ian Jones, we haven't heard his name since the 2nd quarter, and really I'm not exactly sure why.
Oh, he had
Spady going to keep it there on the scramble, and he's going to get enough for the 1st down. Jacob Spady, I think you're about to say it, Connor. He had Ian Jones across the middle.
Yeah, he did, but it worked out good for him. He got a 1st down for the Storm. Excuse me, that's Daniel Ramos, said Jonathan.
So Spady, 14 rushing yards on his last 2 attempts, and it's enough to move the chains for SNU. From the 33, they got a new set of downs to work with. Handoff goes to Ramos, who sticks his head up the middle and keeps his balance and dives ahead for 3 yards on that carry.
Seems the running game has been a lot more prevalent here on this drive. Just pounding it to Ramos to give the read option to Spady. It's working out well for him so far.
Let's see if they elect to run again at 2nd and 7. Ramos in the backfield. Spady looking to his right and left and just throws it away over here to the left. Ian Jones.
That's a dangerous pass. He had a cornerback right behind Ian Jones there. I don't think he saw him.
So the incompletion will bring up a 3rd and 7. 3:41 remaining. In this 3rd quarter. SNU just 3 of 8 on 3rd down.
Spady's going to roll out.
Spady, they're doing a throwback play, and another flag comes down near the line of scrimmage there.
Looks like it'd be a holding call.
I believe they're going to hit number 65, Jared Ragland, with the penalty there, the 6'4" freshman from Fort Gibson. Penalty is on SNU on a hold. That penalty is going to be declined to bring up a 4th and 7. So here comes the punting unit once again for SNU.
Miles roll back to kick to Horatio Smith, I believe, who has been bottled up on these returns.
So here's the punt from Roll. It's going to take an SNU bounce here a couple of times. And Horatio Smith just picks it up for whatever reason.
I'm not sure what he was thinking there. He had 4 guys around him and the ball was already on the ground.
So they'll mark him dead at the 28-yard line, where Northwestern's offense will come back out. They've only found the end zone 1 time in this 3rd quarter.
One player I have not seen in this 2nd half is for Lindo Vincent. I'm not sure if he's injured or if they're just giving him a breather for this quarter, but he's been pretty good getting pressure on this Northwest Oklahoma State.
Miller throws out to the left side. He's got a man out there. It's caught by number 24, Justin Schanbacher.
Haven't called his name since the 1st quarter.
Able to pick up about 6 yards there.
Well, when you got Horatio Smith jumping over everybody, catching touchdown passes, there's not much he's going to be looking for.
Yeah, it's got to be somebody else.
Oh,
So
great
on
play
the
fake there.
That little Statue of Liberty play there, and that's going to be a big gain. That's Glover. If you live in Oklahoma, you've seen that play before coming in the bowl game against Boise State.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tanner Styles is, in fact, an Oklahoma Sooner, so he doesn't like to remember that play.
I remember it all too well as Reed Miller faked that pass and just handed it off, and Glover got a big gain. First down for Northwestern. So in SNU territory from the 46. Handoff goes to Doyle, who scoots out for about 3 yards.
Great stop there by J.R. Singleton up the middle, not letting Doyle get much traction there.
Gain of 3 for Doyle. Coming up to about 2 minutes remaining here in this third quarter. I imagine with this 3-score lead that Northwestern may run the ball as Horatio Smith has caught another pass, and he gets out across close to the 20-yard line.
Haven't heard that name a lot this second half, and I've been pretty happy with that. It means they're not scoring very much, but there he goes again.
He goes for 23 yards there to bring his total up to 187 yards receiving. So that's enough for a first down. And he's up to 194 yards receiving as Doyle takes the handoff up the middle. So
refusing to go down there.
Doyle refusing to go down, and he gains about 5 yards there. I mean, these statistics, looking at them on the board from Horatio Smith, I mean, it's something you'd see in Madden. On the Xbox, 8 catches for 194 yards and 4 touchdowns for the true freshman. Handoff goes to Doyle.
Speaking of someone who's having Madden-like stats, is Doyle. He can't be stopped a lot of the time.
It doesn't seem like it. He just bounces off tacklers like nothing.
Doyle approaching 100 yards rushing on the day.
Possibly his first touchdown of the day as well.
So they got first and goal from the 4. Looking to extend this lead. We're now under a minute to play. 54 seconds and counting. So here's Miller. Throwing to his right, looking for Horatio Smith, but he drops it. So
I'm sorry.
I guess Horatio Smith is human. He has dropped a pass. His first mistake of the afternoon. And if one of your mistakes is just a drop pass, then
you're having a pretty good day.
You're having a pretty good day. So 2nd and 4 from the 4. So there you see Doyle's attempts. Now up to 88 yards on the ground.
On just 15 carries.
All the touchdowns scored in this game have been through the air for Reed Miller. This time it's Doyle getting very close to that goal line. He picks up about 3 yards.
It's about
close to the 1 yard line.
It looks to me like it's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 2.
And that may have been the final play of this third quarter. As the clock getting down to about 10 seconds to go, and indeed it will be. So they'll take the ball 98 yards to the other 1 yard line. And we have 15 minutes to play here in Bethany, Oklahoma. Our score after 3, it's Northwestern Oklahoma State 35, SNU 10. We'll be right back here at SNUathletics.com.
All right.
And we're back. Penalty on the play.
We're back to SNU football and SNUathletics.com. Tanner Stiles, again, is having trouble with his microphone.
And here we go. This microphone is
Hey, you're back.
having some difficulties here this evening, but there was a flag on the play going on Northwestern Oklahoma State. It was a false start penalty. So that 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line is now back to the 6. So here we go, 3rd and goal. Miller looking for Horatio Smith in the corner, just overthrows him. And
I find it hard to overthrow Horatio Smith. He's been catching everything today, it seems like.
Horatio Smith is 5'11", but we had to do a little bit of research on him here at halftime when we had the break. Not only was he a football star in high school, but he was also a basketball star. So that'll bring on Hawkins once again for a field goal try. His first attempt clanked off the left upright. This one from a much shorter distance. And he gets it to go as a flag flies in late at the 10-yard line. The field goal was good. So this will be an interesting call here to see what these officials say here. They're going to hit SNU with a personal foul. It's number 45, Bryant Valentine.
Oh, that's terrible for SNU. You had them on 4th, about to surrender only 3 points instead of 6, and now they get 4 more extra downs.
So they will accept the penalty. And it'll be a new set of downs for the Rangers, as you can see there. Miller 15 for 26, 254 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Oh my goodness.
What a day it's been for Reed Miller.
A fellow Texas Panhandle boy.
1st and goal from the 3. They hand off to Doyle, and Doyle just carries.
He finally gets in there.
Goodness.
And Connor Bent is not happy, as Connor Bent apparently thought that he took the ball away. And they're going to flag him for unsportsmanlike conduct.
I'm not sure who they threw that flag on because they threw it near Northwestern. So they do hit Doyle with the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. He and Connor Bent had some words there. They went ahead and ruled it was a touchdown. So they put the 6 points on the board. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. So Hawkins will come in to attempt the PAT.
It's a good heads-up play by Connor Bent, not giving up on the play, but a knucklehead play there by Zach Doyle.
So here's Hawkins on for the PAT. It's up and it's good. So with 14:43 remaining in our ball game, Northwestern, Oklahoma State opens up a lead. It's 42-10. We'll be right back here at SNUathletics.com. We're back here in Bethany after the 3-yard run from Zachary Doyle to give Northwestern a 42-10 lead. There was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Doyle after the touchdown, so that'll push the kickoff back 15 yards to the 20-yard line.
And I think this is going to be the first time that there's going to be a kickoff return from SNU today.
Here's Jonathan
one
Martin.
Of them.
Martin gets out across the 35 to the 38.
It's going to be the first one since the very first kickoff of the game for to SNU.
And another flag comes in late on the 42-yard line.
Looks like it's maybe on Lakeem Christmas.
It was Christmas over there, as well as number 32, Jonathan Cotton. So we'll see what these officials decide here.
And it is on Christmas. That's an unfortunate blunder there for the Crimson Storm.
So instead of good field position from the 40-yard line, they're going to move them back 15 yards to the 23, 24-yard line. So here comes the SNU offense. Back out here again. Trailing by a big deficit here with 14:38 to go. It's been a long 22 seconds here to open this quarter for sure. Here you see Jacob Spady's stats, 10 for 20, 57 yards and 2 interceptions on the day. Like you talked about earlier, Connor, this is his first, I believe, his first start of this career. So Coleman Jr. comes in motion. He gets the handoff, a double reverse. They're looking for a pass, and Martin just nowhere to go with it. He had Chris Hudson and Spady both wide open.
But he just couldn't get his feet set under him enough time to throw without getting hit.
Yeah, that Ranger defense just collapsed on it very quickly.
A little bit of razzle-dazzle by the Crimson Storm, but it was just read perfectly by the Rangers.
So a loss of 2 on the play. Bring up 2nd and 12. So here's Spady taking another shot down the field.
Uh-oh.
Way overthrown, but it is
thankfully out of bounds.
The defender catches it, but he was out of bounds out there. So it's going to be ruled an incomplete pass.
Ah, man, I like the play call, but the decision-making there was not the best idea. He's lucky he threw it out of bounds on that play.
It's just one of those times, like, were you really throwing to the receiver, or were you throwing it to the defensive back?
Yeah.
He was all alone back there.
I like to see him get Ian Jones involved more this quarter, open him up. He gave some flashy plays earlier in this half, the first half as well.
3rd and 12 from the 22. Spady looking back across the field. He's got Chris Hudson out across the 30, very close to that first down marker. They're going to rule him out at the 31, so that'll be about 2 or 3 yards short. And instead of, I don't know why you wouldn't go for it. You got nothing to lose here. They'll send the punting unit back out there once again. So this will be the 6th punt of the game for SNU.
Another high one.
Rolling down past the 40. Continuing to roll, and it's going to go down at the 28-yard line, where Northwestern will set up another drive. So up to this point here, Northwestern, Oklahoma State, 424 Total yards to SNU's 229. 280 of those 424 have come through the air, 144 on the ground. 21 first downs for Northwestern Oklahoma State.
To 8
for SNU. I think that's been a big factor.
Southern Nazarine's been able to gash them on the running game at 165 so far. Guys, who's been some players that have been pretty opening your eyes for this game tonight? I know Horatio Smith's one of the obvious ones, but anyone else look kind of sticking their name out there?
Well, I mean, I just got to go back to Henderson State and how well they played today, and I'll look back at my fellow man from the Texas Panhandle from Pampa, number 8,
Reed Miller
for the Rangers. He's really led his team, and I guess I'm just impressed with the guy, just how well he's played today.
So Doyle takes a handoff about 4 yards there for Northwestern. Isaiah Young, I think, has been my guy on the defensive side. 10 tackles. Now he's got 7 solo. He's been a bright spot for SNU's defense. He's leading the team in tackles, so not a surprising performance from Isaiah Young. Handoff on 2nd and 6 goes to Doyle. He's got some more room out here.
And he will just not go down.
So things are kind of getting chippy out there between these two teams.
And the fans are hearing it from the SNU fan base. They have some calls, some chippy extracurriculars that are going on between the players that aren't getting called, but frankly, it's probably just not enough contact for them to get called.
Another first down for Northwestern. And this time the handoff will go to Glover. Looks to kick it outside, goes back inside, and he is brought down by number 98, Jordan Harding.
Great stop there.
Pickup of about 2. To bring up 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8. Handoff to Glover again. Kicks it out close to the 45. There comes a flag flying in at Northwestern side of the field on the 48. There's an injured Ranger down on the field.
See what our penalty is. If our white hat chooses to give it to us soon.
I believe that the man down is number 72, Sebastian Escalante. Freshman from Keller, Texas. So while they tend to the injured Ranger, we'll step aside for a second. We'll be right back at SNUathletics.com. So Escalante was able to make it to the sideline on his own. And the penalty was on Northwestern. A holding penalty, so I'll bring up a 2nd down and long here for the Rangers. Screen pass out to Glover on the right side. Got some room out there, making some people miss out across the 45 to the 43. Pickup of 19 yards for Glover.
Great pickup of those. Screen pass has been very effective for Northwest Oklahoma State today. Just the defense is not ready whenever they come with it.
First down from the 43 in SNU territory. Glover takes the handoff. Shake and bake miss out there to the 38. Gain of 5 for Glover.
Wouldn't be surprised if they give Ty Hooper another chance back in this game. Keep Reed Miller out there, keep him from injury. Glover again up the middle.
Glover getting a healthy dose of carries here. In the last couple of plays, he takes this one about 4 yards to the 35. And we've got another injured Ranger from that offensive line, so not good to see that. 2 in a row here going down.
You hate to see a player go down no matter what team they're on.
For sure, Mr. McKenzie.
Not sure who that is. So we talked about it in the pregame. Women's volleyball beat Harding today 3-0.
Great start up there by our women's volleyball team. Caitlin Bout up there, I believe it's 6 blocks for the day, and really came alive in that third set, not letting Harding back into the game. Courtney Bowie just a force again with about 13 kills today.
They both were a big part of the reason why the Crimson Storm were able to take it in 3 sets. So SNU volleyball will continue to progress in their season as they prepare for the playoffs. As it's number 61, Matt Coert was the injured Ranger, the junior from Holdenville, Oklahoma. A lot of kids from Oklahoma on this Northwestern Oklahoma State roster up in Alva there.
And not a lot of upperclassmen. It seems to be a trend with SNU as well. Just a lot of freshmen, sophomores, and juniors making their impact and getting it done here.
A lot of them up in the northern part of Oklahoma where Alva is, right on the Kansas border. As Doyle going to get another handoff, he's got some room out there. Out across to close to the 20. It's Blake Giles on the tackle, but not before Doyle scoots ahead for about 11 or 12. So from the 20, the Rangers are in the red zone again here. Now under 10 minutes to go. Miller going to pass, looking for a man in the right corner. It's caught in the end zone for a touchdown. I believe it was number 27, Riley Hess out there.
Another impressive fade route run by the receivers of Northwestern Oklahoma State, and it's just if Horatio Smith isn't going to pull it down, another one of his colleagues is.
Absolutely. Everybody's just stepping up today.
So the 6th touchdown pass for Reed Miller in this ball game. He's accounted for every single touchdown except the rushing touchdown from Doyle. Extra point from Hawkins is up, and it is good. So with 9:33 remaining, Northwestern Oklahoma State continuing to pour it on here. It's 49-10. We'll be right back here at SNUathletics.com. So we're back after the break here, 49-10. Lakeem Christmas fielding the kickoff from the 18, tackled at the 23. So you can see Reed Miller, 293 yards passing, 6 touchdowns.
Unbelievable. He's having a fantastic day.
We talked about Horatio Smith having some Madden-like numbers, and I would say that these numbers by Reed Miller would also fall under that category. As it has just been all Northwestern. As here comes the SNU offense. First and 10 here from the 24. Spady gonna pass, looking down the field for Jonathan Martin. I think he's got him. Yes, sir, he does.
Great catch by Martin.
Down to the 48.
Right in the middle of 2 defenders. Great placement there by Spady.
A 24-yard gain from Spady to Martin.
If he gives Game more playing time, that may be the key phrase, Spady to Martin. Ooh.
Movement there at the line of scrimmage. We'll see who jumped first.
Somebody wanted a head start.
It's going to be an offsides penalty.
Northwestern's man drew the offensive lineman for SNU off, so that's going to be a 5-yard penalty in favor of SNU.
Tyler Trussell, the freshman from Athens, Texas, was the guilty victim of the offsides. First and 5 now from the 47 in Northwestern territory. Spady back to pass, being pressured. He's going to scramble out to his left. And no, he may have been hit late. And yes, sir, they throw a flag. Jacob Spady took a shot.
So as well as a 10-yard gain, he's going to get another 15 along with that.
Well, it was a 5-yard gain after the penalty, but nonetheless, they still will get the 15 yards on the late hit call.
Great awareness there by Spady to break outside the pocket when the pressure was coming.
So the penalty occurred at the flag's down. Well, that's where the flag was, but the foul occurred at the 43. So they will move them all the way up to the 20. They're going to rule at the 26-yard line, 28-yard line. So this will be good for SNU guys, I think, here with 8:50 to go. Game a little bit out of reach. This will be good for SNU if they can move this ball down the field and at least get some points on the board to kind of boost their confidence a little.
For sure.
Absolutely. Points at the end of the game will always boost your morale for the next game.
Spady to Martin again. Out across the 25 to the 24. 5-yard gain. Second and 5 here from the 24.
Spady getting some direction from the sideline.
He's back to pass, being pressured. Screen pass to Daniel Ramos, breaking a couple tackles. Tackled inside the 20 at the 18. Good pickup there from the screen pass. It's going to be enough for the first down.
We do have a penalty flag down there. So it seems to me that there's been a penalty flag on either one of the teams every other 3 plays.
There was an injured Ranger down there on the field. It was number 52, Sid Irwin Jr., who was injured, but the penalty will be on the Crimson Storm, courtesy of a holding penalty. So second down. And about 15 here for the Crimson Storm offense. Ramos, 78 yards rushing on 10 carries, and he's got a touchdown. So Spady finds Chris Hudson close to the 30-yard line there.
Nice little pickup. Get back to what they started with, those short, quick passes, keeping the defense on their toes.
3rd and 11 coming up.
I know you can't see it at home, ladies and gentlemen, but we have a Beautiful sunset right here in Bethany, Oklahoma tonight.
Absolutely. There's one thing that Oklahoma is superb at is their sunsets.
No doubt.
The sun is going down behind us here, behind the scoreboard, or excuse me, behind the press box, but you can see looking east over the top of the Northwestern side, the sun. So here's Spady looking down the field to the end zone.
Oh, just overshot Jonathan Martin there in the end zone.
He had a man there, so incomplete pass. It's going to bring up a 4th down. We'll see what they do here.
Looks like they're going to try.
Spady going to come off the field here, and they will send Carlos Anguiano out on the field for a very long field goal.
I believe this would be about a.
See, they're on the 33.
It's be about a
49-yarder.
It's a 49-yarder.
We had to do a little bit of math there, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry.
Just rule of thumb, ladies and gentlemen.
We are not blessed with the courtesies of ESPN that has the technology that can calculate the exact distances. So we got to do it the old-fashioned way. Anguiano kick is up, and it is right down Main Street. What a kick from Carlos Anguiano.
We may not be blessed with technology, but by God, we are blessed with good kickers. Great kick there by Carlos Anguiano.
2 for 2 on the day for Anguiano. He's now 5 of 6 on the year. 49-13, 6:58 to go. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back at SNUathletics.com.
I'm good.
Carlos Anguiano converting a 49-yard field goal. I believe that's his longest of the season. And the kickoff fielded from the 1-yard line by Northwestern. And they're tackled inside the 10-yard line. Good coverage there from the Crimson Storm. So the Rangers will come out here with a 49-13 lead. 25 first downs for Northwestern Oklahoma State and just 10 for SNU. So from the 10-yard line, I believe Hooper is in the ball game now.
Oh, great burst there by Doyle.
Handoff goes to Doyle, so it looks like Reed Miller's day is done.
And frankly, he's very much earned his final minute hiatus, as he did very, very well today, passing for what, 6 or
6 touchdown passes for Reed Miller. Handoff goes to Glover. 293 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, including 65 yards on the ground. So 350 total yards for Reed Miller and 6 touchdowns. You couldn't have asked for a better game if you're Northwestern. As the 1-yard pickup here brings up 2nd and 9. Just about 6 minutes to go here in this one. The pass in the middle there is caught by number 45, Niles Villalobos from from Stockton, California. Might be Villalobos. Those two L's in the middle might be silent.
I'm not a Spanish major. I don't know.
We need to get our guy Oscar on the air. He would probably know better than we do. 3rd and 2 here, and there's a stop by the Crimson Storm. Loss of about 1 or 2. So here comes the So 4th and 4. We have confirmation from Oscar, who is here up in the booth with us, that the two L's in the middle are silent. It is Villalobos.
And just a line drive kick, about 15 feet in the air.
So the punt goes down to the 31, where it is downed, and Crimson Storm will have it with 4:40 remaining in the ball game.
That was just a very quick possession there by Northwest Oklahoma State. Good 3 and out, or 4 and out, I guess, by the Crimson Storm.
So the SNU offense back out there. So they've moved the ball down the field. We might expect this to be the final offensive drive of the game for the Crimson Storm. Dump off pass here to Daniel Ramos, shake and bake move.
He's actually going to lose yardage on that one, actually.
Losing about 1, maybe 2. To bring up 2nd down and 11. From the 30. So here's Spady, another screen pass. This time it's Chris Hudson. He's got some room out on the left side before he's tackled down at about the 34. Good tackle out there. I believe number 34, Caden Gakek. So that brings up a 3rd and 6 for the Crimson Storm after the 6-yard completion.
Spade getting some direction there from his quarterback and coach there on the sideline. Maybe see something he didn't like and maybe something that could open up the passing game on this play.
Play clock down to 1. They just get it off. Spady being pressured, and he's going to be sacked.
That was a 2-for-1 special there.
On those, you just really can't avoid, ladies and gentlemen. You can't really find anybody open. You just have to eat it.
So Spady will be sacked. It's a 10-yard loss. That'll bring up a 4th down. So here comes the punting unit once again out. Now under 3 minutes to go.
Miles roll back on the kick. Be the 7th punt of the night for Miles Roll. I'm sure his leg's getting pretty tired tonight.
So a low end over end kick.
Takes an SNU bounce towards about the 34-yard line.
So it's down at the 34, 2:25 remaining in the ball game. And we should expect this to be the final play, the final drive of the game. For Northwestern.
It's just been all Northwestern today in the second half for sure. Let me be a little bit more specific. It was all Horatio Smith in the first half, and it was all Northwestern in the second.
Definitely. They dialed up some pressure there for Jacob Spade, in the second half. They're getting him. I think they got 4 sacks on him for the whole game now. So they definitely figured out what SNU was doing, what would cause them to click, and were able to shut them down.
So here's Northwestern back out on the field. 2:25 to go. Handoff goes to Glover, and he's brought down after not really a pickup of anything there. Flag down on the field at the 21. I believe it's going to be, could be a face mask penalty on the Crimson Storm, and they're going to pick the flag up, wave it off. So no gain there for Glover to bring up second down. And here comes a pass here from Hooper. Being pressured, scrambling to his right, throwing on the run, incomplete.
Pass way out of bounds there.
Way out of bounds. And
good pressure by the SNU defense there. Although I don't understand why they're passing it. You have a pretty good running back who has not been able to be stopped today, and you pretty much all just want to go home, so run the ball and put out the clock and end this game.
I think they've had 3 running backs today that they've just had some trouble with. Whether it be Doyle or Glover or Tubman, they've just been nonstop.
Another pass here on third down. They're looking for a man out here. It's incomplete.
Just off his hands, and he's got to catch that.
Yeah, that one's inexcusable in my opinion. Sometimes you want to make the argument that he heard footsteps or that he was being hit, but that time that's just all on the receiver. He's got to come up with those.
It was number 81, J.T. Miles, the intended target, the senior from Minneapolis. So a fourth down and a punt upcoming for Northwestern. That was a quick drive, 3 and out there. So Jonathan Martin standing at the 40 here. Ooh, that punt was very nearly blocked.
I think it was blocked as it came off.
Martin going to fill it at the 41. That's some room up there. Forced out of bounds in Northwestern territory at the 44-yard line.
So we're at just under 145 to play. So let's see if SNU will try to get one in the end zone before everything's said and done.
I think Connor Bett and Stephen Price just got their hands on that football, causing it to decrease in the amount that it was traveling. So a good return there by Jonathan Martin, putting him in Northwest Oklahoma State territory. Sorry, Chad, go ahead.
I was going to say just one touchdown for the Crimson Storm offense, and it came on their first offensive play from their opening series there, Daniel Ramos.
Yeah, that seems to be the trend for SNU. They start out very strong in the running game. And
there goes Ramos once again. Looked like it was from about the same spot he scored his first touchdown on. But he takes it for about 13 yards. Good run by Ramos.
And puts it out of bounds and stops the clock.
I believe that puts Ramos over the 100-yard mark for the ball game.
If anybody on SNU has had an amazing game today, it's definitely been Ramos. He's put everything out on the line today.
Yeah, he's just about at 100 yards after 11 carries for 90 yards there.
Spady back to pass, taking a shot down the field, looking for Coleman Jr. There was
definitely some contact there between Coleman Jr. Nothing called. They're letting him play.
So 88 seconds to go in the ball game. 2nd and 10 from the 33. Screen pass set up here for Ramos. He's got it and got some room over here.
It's been some bread and butter there for SNU. That screen game has worked out pretty well for him.
Down across the 20. Right at the 20, brought down. Pickup of 13 yards and enough for a first down.
Yeah, Jacob Aguilar down on the ground for a second, but he was able to get up under his own power and continue playing.
So 1st and 10 from the 20.
Jacob Spady on the keeper.
Spady going to keep it, and he's going to score. Jacob Spady in the end zone.
This is his first touchdown of the season, and you know what? I think that we just might be seeing Spady in the starting position for the rest of the season, my friends.
He's got some great feet, and that read option has worked out to perfection for him whenever they called his number.
Mm-hmm. Great move there, and finally finds the end zone.
So a 20-yard run from Jacob Spady. Carlos Anguiano in for the extra point, and it is up and it is good. 1:02 left in the ball game. SNU on the board again. It's 49-20. We'll be right back at SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. The 20-yard scamper from Jacob Spady.
I think Carl's maybe trying an onside kick here.
They just pooch it over here towards the 30-yard line. It's caught and taken up the right side there, brought down at about the 45-yard line. 56 seconds to go. So here comes Northwestern Oklahoma State, likely out for the last drive of the game. But, of course, I said that the last time, and yet they proceeded to throw 2 passes. And SNU got the ball back.
Under that great read option play that just time and time again has gotten positive yards for the Storm, Jacob Spady was able to scamper in for 20 yards. So I think they may have some life for their games going forward if they stick with Spady.
So here comes Hooper back out there in the shotgun formation, 56.9 to go. Handoff goes to Glover, looking to make something happen. He's tackled at the line of scrimmage.
I think they're just going to take one more play and put this one out of its misery.
So Northwestern Oklahoma State will move to 3-5 on the year. 3-5 in the GAC. SNU will fall to 0-8 on the season. Next week, Northwestern Oklahoma State will be back at home against a very tough Arkansas Tech opponent. And SNU will be on the road taking on top of the conference, Henderson State, who won today. So they are 7-1. Very tough opponent. Coming up next week, the handoff once again goes for 1 yard maybe. So next week, SNU, like I said, will be on the road before they are back home here in 2 weeks against Ouachita Baptist, and then one final game after that against Oklahoma Baptist. So the final score in this one, 49-20. We'll keep it right here and go over the final stats real quick. 525 total yards for Northwestern Oklahoma State, 302 for SNU, 326 passing yards, 199 rushing yards for Northwestern. SNU had 191 rushing yards, 111 passing yards. 26 first downs for Northwestern Oklahoma State to SNU's 13. And for Northwestern Oklahoma State, it was Reed Miller, 17 of 28, 293 yards and 6 touchdowns. And second half really for Horatio Smith. He had a couple of catches. He only had 30 yards receiving in the second half, but his total was 194 yards, 4 touchdowns on 8 catches for the true freshman. Jacob Spady in his first start, 18 of 31 for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he also rushed for 57 yards and a touchdown. Ramos had 90 yards rushing on a touchdown. And Jonathan Martin led the team in receiving with 39 receiving yards, on 4 receptions. So, fellas, we saw another loss here at home. What do you feel like SNU can take away from this one heading into a tough, very tough opponent next week in Henderson State?
Well, they just got to – I just think that they got to keep their heads up. Of course, next week they have a very, very tough opponent. But, it's all about keeping your confidence up, keeping your head up. And personally, I think that we should be seeing a lot more Jacob Spady, and we should be seeing a lot more read option.
Connor, any final thoughts you got on this one?
I think it's a good learning experience for a lot of the freshmen and sophomores coming in. Ian Jones, Jacob Spady, Daniel Ramos getting a lot of playing time today, seeing a lot of attention. And I think it's a good experience for them before they go up against the best team in the conference next week at Henderson State. I think the defense did a great job this week. They got to continue to get pressure and stop making the little mistakes. The pass interference, offsides, false starts, those really shoot them in the foot and can kill drives. So I think they keep focusing on the little things to be able to perform next week against Henderson State.
Make sure to keep updated on SNUathletics.com for all the latest news, updates, scores, statistics, all the different sports around SNU, football, volleyball, soccer. Once again, the final in this one, Northwestern takes it 49-20. Thank you guys for tuning in on SNUathletics.com. God bless you.